What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN's unveiling of the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. My name is Damon Hatfield. This is Greg Miller.
Hey, Damon.
That's Casey Lynch.
Hi, Damon.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, early morning here in San Francisco.
Bright and early here in San Francisco, 7:30 in the morning. We are anticipating the incoming second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. Supposed to be here in about a half hour, 8 o'clock our time.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it live with you here. There it is. Look at there. You got the countdown clock right there. Oh, it's coming.
28 minutes,
Oh my God.
47 seconds to go. We're all going to watch it together, then we're going to rewind it a bunch of times. We're going to see all the details we can pull out of it. We have the added benefit of Greg and Casey having already seen the game in action.
Brain power! I tell you what, Damon. Yeah, we've seen it. We've gone to New York. We've seen it. We know all this.
Yeah.
We helped him shoot the trailer. We told him where to make the cuts and what to do.
We did mocap.
What, Caleb?
That's right.
We can only show us here.
Oh, okay. So, well, why'd you tell me that earlier? And where's my mouse, huh? I tell you what, we're trying to eat a bagel out there. We get yelled at that, oh, we're all ready for you. And they're not ready for nothing in here.
I know, it's kind of a mess. But yeah, so you guys...
There it is!
Since you guys have already seen the game in action, you guys may be able to pull out some more details from the trailer than maybe the rest of us could.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
guys
Tell you a
will
little bit
be
about the
very
characters.
Be very valuable assets when the new trailer
Finally.
comes in.
5.5 years later, got a purpose for me.
But it's like Grand Theft Auto 5 week here on IGN. We've been doing lots of stuff.
We have, yeah. So, like Greg said, we went to New York in October, and we watched the game. We sat down with Dan Houser, and so far this week we've posted impressions of the mission that we saw, which showed off the dynamic between the three playable characters and how you switch between them. We imagine that we're going to be able to see some of that stuff in this new trailer, and then we'll be able to kind of break down from our perspective what's happening. Also this week we ran an interview with Leslie Benzies, who's the head of Rockstar North, and he's been working on the GTA franchise since Grand Theft Auto 3, and he's not somebody that does a bunch of interviews, so we were real fortunate to be able to speak with him. And there's an extensive feature interview on IGN right now detailing that. We've had new screenshots every day. But now, today, finally, we're going to be able to see the game running in the new trailer. And Greg and I were talking about this morning. It's been a whole year.
Can you
since
believe
the
that? It's
last
been
trailer.
more than a year since the last GTA 5 trailer.
So the first trailer debuted in October of...
November 2nd,
yeah.
2011. We were so young. We had so much hair back then. We knew what was happening.
Things were so different back then. Obama was president.
We were playing Skyrim.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we were all excited for that Bethesda game.
So to clarify, you guys have not seen this second trailer yet.
Yeah, we were just joking.
Right.
We didn't really cut it.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah.
I know you know. You'd be surprised, I'm sure. You'd be surprised. Remember, be part of the conversation. Tweet at IGN #GTA5.
That's the thing. Yeah, we're going to be here. We'll answer any questions that you have about the game. Any that Greg and Casey can answer.
Yep.
They'll answer them to the best of their ability. So just tweet us at IGN. We'll answer them. We'll get answering them as soon as we can. And then we also have viewfinders to give away.
Yeah. So Rockstar announced recently that one of the pre-order incentives for pre-ordering the game is you get one of these Grand Theft Auto 5 viewfinders, and when you look through it, there's a screenshot. And this one has...
Isn't that one just like the farm?
Yeah, it's a
Whoa!
farm and a shot of a tractor, and it says "Welcome to Grapeseed." So, but they're random screenshots, so there'll be different shots in all of them.
So we have 20 to give away here. Is that correct?
Correct. And then there's also, for people who are tuning in the UK, I think,
Yes.
Damon, you know about sort of how they're giving away there, I think, on their Facebook page.
Yeah, you need to follow, if you're an IGN fan living in the UK,
Woo!
follow IGN UK on Facebook and Twitter, and they will also be explaining how you can win. They have like 500 of the things to give away, and they'll be explaining how you can win those around that side of the pond, as they say, Greg.
Yep.
All right, so
Now you got it.
let's watch the original trailer.
Going
Let's go back a year.
1 year. Here we go.
Do we want to talk over this one? Or is this the one we're going to be quiet on this one? Let's be quiet on this one. I haven't seen this in a year.
That magic. You see,
Right, yeah.
If you want to tell your friends, though,
I
that
wanted
it
to
is, and haven't come
retire
watch it.
from what I was doing, you know? From that line of work. Be a good guy for once, a family man. So, I bought a big house, came here, put my feet up, and thought I'd be a dad like all the other dads. My kids would be like the kids on TV. We'd play ball and sit in the sun, but, well, you know how it is.
we know the characters, and it's interesting to look at it now, a year later, and talk about who they are. Obviously, it's Michael doing the narration. Remember when we did this originally, we were all very concerned maybe it was Tommy. It was a jump from Vice City Stories, or Vice City, I should say. We know it's a new character, Michael, who kind of is Tommy. I talked to Dan Houser in my interview on Friday about how it's possible that Michael could have been Tommy. You know what I mean? That they're making this jump that Michael in GTA 5 is the GTA 5 character that won. He won the game. He got he got all the money. He completed all his tasks, and then he went on to live this life. And this is what happens, which could have happened to Tommy. But Casey, Dan was talking about how that there's actually 2 universes for GTA. That there's a standard def one and the HD one. So GTA 4 kind of spawns its own universe.
Yeah, and so looking at this trailer, I mean, it's the first time we see all 3 characters right here, and we know now that that's the crew.
Yeah, that's the Heist crew.
Yeah, so that's Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. We see them jump out of this van.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're not going in to do any insecticide work or anything like that. So with their guns.
Well, that's the big thing. If you haven't been watching GTA 5 Week, you're a fool here on IGN.com. But GTA 5 centers around heists, which I think is awesome. Everybody's favorite mission from GTA 4 was 3-leaf clover. We go out there, we do this bank heist. That's what it's going to be. And now that there's like 5 or 6 heists, Rockstar hasn't confirmed. But you jump into these things. This might not even be a heist because it looks pretty low budge.
Right. Yeah. And the way that the mission structure is going to work is you will be working up towards these larger scale heists that are like 3-leaf clover. But they're all going to sort of wrap around these big moments of action like what we just saw there for the first time. Also, go back to the beginning. It's interesting. One of the things that Rockstar has been pointing out is sort of the unique hobbies that each one of the playable characters is going to be able to participate in.
Yeah. They put a lot into mini games this time around.
Exactly. And so we see sort of a quick montage of them at the very beginning of this trailer that we didn't necessarily know back then. So we have golf.
Yep.
I wanted to retire.
We have jet skiing. Keep going.
Not the best frame.
And we have hiking.
Yeah.
And so the idea is each one of the different characters will have actual hobbies or mini games specific to them. So, I mean, I can imagine Michael's probably the golfer.
Yeah, here's yoga, which we know is another mini game or whatever, too.
And that was his house, actually.
Yeah. Franklin.
And then Franklin.
Man, I am back. Can I get a mouse, please? A mouse would really be helpful.
In the Argyle sweater.
There's a full golf game in GTA 5.
Yeah,
they've already said there is. Yeah. That was their big thing, is that they knew people liked the idea of the mini games in GTA 4, and when we were talking to them about it, they were like, we wanted to bring that back, but we didn't want to just have stuff that wasn't that great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not every GTA 4 mini game was amazing. And their idea was that darts, yeah. Their idea was that they wanted to bring it in and make it, that they hone it in, bring in golf, bring in yoga, bring in other stuff I'm sure we don't know about, and make those awesome and really pimp those out, as they say. Right.
Yeah,
those cool kids in the internet say.
We know tennis is another one.
Michael
tennis. Actually has a tennis court on his property next to his house, so at any time you can just go down. I think he has a pool there too. He does. Yeah. So
I call it the Mario Tennis Killer, but no one stopped me. So hopefully,
no motion control confirmed.
No, yeah. They've gone out of their way to say there isn't any.
Yeah,
they're not doing any sort of Kinect functionality.
Correct. Yeah, that'll be in.
That's really surprising. You would think Microsoft would sort of lean on them to add some sort of Kinect function.
You'll see it in the Dan Houser interview Friday here on IGN.com. Well, we talked to them about it, and he kept saying, and Rockstar kept saying, going back, that we aren't a hardware company. We aren't beholden to Microsoft. We aren't beholden to Sony. So we get to make the games we want to make. And for him, when he's making these games, when Rockstar is making these games, they want immersive experiences that you lose yourself in, and that's what we talk about when we talk about GTA 5. Right? Is the scope and how huge this world is and how you want to get lost in it. And he was saying that if all of a sudden it was pick up, move, do this, calibrate your Kinect, that it would totally break the experience for what he wants and what Rockstar wants, which I thought was cool.
Now, what's interesting too is in the demo, when we first see Michael in his house, he's walking through his house and he comes into the living room and he sees his daughter playing what looks like either Dance Central or Just Dance or something, but it's Kinect. And
it actually is a
no, it's whatever exactly.
Yeah, it's probably Disconnect or whatever they're going to call it. Or,
Natal.
Natal. Take note. Yeah,
like
exactly.
Natal.
There
you go.
No,
it's free one for you.
I had all but forgotten about Natal.
Yeah, and everybody else
never
did too.
forget.
But so we specifically asked right after we saw her moving around with the little camera. Greg, of course, thought it was a PlayStation Eye, not a Kinect.
No, I knew it wasn't a PlayStation Eye.
Judgment.
I knew it wasn't PlayStation Eye because the image wasn't reversed in SD. That would have been the first, because it's terrible. The PlayStation Eye is horrible. Stop making those games.
Yeah, but I mean, that is one area where they seem to be putting a lot of emphasis. I mean, going to the point where did they confirm how many holes the golf course is? Is it like
It's full golf. It's full on golf.
Yeah, so 18-hole golf course.
That's awesome.
So other ones that we didn't see in this include base jumping. I imagine that might be a Trevor hobby because he's the pilot. Trevor's an ex-military pilot, and also he figures strongly in the beginning of the game because he, from the beginning, can fly planes and helicopters. So pretty much
they've been using they've been showing off jet fighters pretty heavily so far in screenshots that we've seen. So
yeah. So I mean, all you need to do playing as Trevor is find a plane and you can fly it from the beginning. So whereas in past GTA games you'd have to wait a while to actually have access to the air.
Well, that's the cool thing too, that you have access to the entire map as soon as the game starts. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's Los San, it's San Andreas, Los Santos. It's entire huge area from 5.5 times the size of Red Dead. Blah 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 blah. Huge.
So like 3 games.
Right,
The 3 previous games would fit inside this.
That's what they were saying. Rockstar says that
Right.
if you took the map of Red Dead, GTA 4, and San Andreas, you could fit them into this one map.
Right,
That's how
with
big
room
it
to
is.
spare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
They keep saying
haven't
the
seen it.
heights of the mountains to the depths of the
depths
ocean.
Yeah, that was their other thing. Yeah, so
Submarines.
on some
Yep.
level, there's going to be some ocean gameplay with what we imagine would be swimming and ocean exploration, maybe submarines. Who knows?
Do you guys have any sort of guesses as to what we're going to be seeing in the new trailer?
I think we're going to see interaction between the 3. I think that we're going to see probably little sort of vignette moments of each 3 to detail a little bit more about their character. Maybe we'll see some family stuff with Michael. Maybe we'll see Trevor being psychotic.
I think you're gonna see big explosions. I think it's gonna be more of an action trailer. I think the last one kind of set. We talked about it when we did, a year ago when we did this. I'm sure everyone remembers. A year ago when we did this, we talked a lot about how the setting and the picture they were painting, right, with the foreclosures and California and this, that, and the other, and the migrant workers, the wealth, the poor. I think this one's gonna be much more like we're doing crazy heists. Here's something exploding. Here's us smashing through a window, stealing this, cars racing around, doing jazz like that.
Yeah, it also could be a chance for them to reinforce this idea of heists, to see sort of moments like that happening where you see the 3 of them, trying to rob a bank or, knock over an armored car or whatever it might be. So.
One of the things I'm interested to see, or should I say hear,
Oh.
is the music, because Rockstar always picks really great music, not only for the games but just for their trailers. Like that song in the first
Right.
trailer is very it's in our heads now.
So now, what do you think then about the fact that for the first time ever in a GTA game, there's a score? There's an orchestral score, just like a movie. Are you excited about that? If you're watching at home, don't worry. Yes, there's still the radios are still there. You still get to pick and choose.
I'm sure Rockstar will handle that very well. Those guys at Rockstar are obviously big music fans.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna mess up the music in their game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was always interesting. You would come out of your car and you'd have music blaring on whatever station you were listening to. The Journey from GTA 4 was one of my favorites. But and then right when you got out of the car, everything goes, all you hear is like woo, 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 or whatever was chasing you.
Yeah, there's never sound there's never like a score during missions usually.
No, look at Trevor's just.
All right, yeah. So
Bad
who do we got
armpits.
here? Go left to right.
All right,
Give me the
so
rundown, Keith.
left to right, we have Michael, who is sort of the lead protagonist, and I believe that Rockstar said he was the first developed character, and
Excuse me, I gotta do this. Clearly, it's Sundrop, I believe, right?
Oh, Halo, double XP. So now we're here to talk about GTA, guys. So again, please send us your questions to @IGN with hashtag GTA5. We're getting ready to watch the trailer for GTA 5. We're talking about Michael. The middle character here is Franklin. And his background is he is a guy that deals in cars. So he will steal cars and then trade them, or sell them.
He's a repo man.
Yeah, he is.
That was one of the things they don't want to talk a lot about the relationships between all these characters, right? So it was interesting for me. First off, last one's Trevor. Crazy psychopath.
Yep.
The opposite of Michael's GTA coin, right? Like Michael 1, he's on the high note as like your Ray Liotta kind of character. Trevor's the other side of that coin. They were besties at one point.
Yeah.
Something bad happened. They broke it in these different paths where Trevor lives in a trailer park and is psychotic. And
Look at his pit stain there.
that's great. That's how you know you're poor. When they got the
bad.
pit stains. That was an embarrassing day for me to know how poor I was.
Now, a little interesting Easter egg for trailer. We have a high-def version of this piece of art on the site, and if you zoom into his neck, it's not just dirt on what is the right side of his neck; it's a tattoo.
Trevor.
Trevor, yeah.
Yeah.
And it says "cut here." So he's got some issues.
Yeah.
Some stuff's going on.
I don't know, Case. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong. Am I stupid to be excited for the story so much for this? That's what it really is for me in GTA. I want to know what happened to Michael and Trevor here, and then also I want to see how Franklin plays into it, right? Because it's these two guys at the end of their criminal career who've gone down different pathways, and now we have Franklin at the beginning, pretty much, right? Like Dan Houser describes him as the gangbanger in the post-gangbanger world, and how he's this repo man who gets involved with Michael. I'm assuming, Michael's down on his money. We've been talking about his wife spent it all. I'm assuming Franklin shows up to repossess Michael's car. They strike up this conversation, realize they're kind of kindred spirits.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the story as well. I mean, what will be interesting too is seeing how Franklin and Trevor's story play out in tandem. It's going to be interesting as a mechanic, and then also just as an experience to see sort of how their stories are told as we're swapping between all three characters. But yeah, Michael's this very interesting guy. I mean, like you said, he's the guy that made it. He had everything. He cashed out. He's in this sort of like witness protection program. He's an old bank robber, and now for whatever reason, whether his wife spent all his money or whatever it is, he has to now get back into it. Either that, or maybe he's just unsatisfied with his life.
Yeah, I mean, we're jumping to conclusions.
Hold on, before you scroll away here, Greg.
I was going to try to open some more windows.
Well, let me try something on you. Look at stare into Trevor's face.
Okay.
And now think down and out Charles Onyett.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
You're right there.
I'm not being mean. It just looks sort of like Charles Onyett, like our beloved Charles Onyett.
Our beloved Charles
Yeah.
Onyett. Charles Onyett got a free Halloween costume out of the deal.
That's right. Charles Onyett just had a birthday.
Anyone who's just tuning in, we are just on the eve of the drop of the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. What's the timer say for us, Greg? We have about 13 minutes left, 12 minutes left?
12 minutes, 24 seconds.
Okay, good. So, and we're all going to watch this together. Greg and Casey have already seen the game in action, but they have not seen this new trailer here. So we'll watch it together, and then we'll rewind it a bunch of times, see how many details we can pull out of it.
We'll give you the expert analysis.
Exactly.
Yep. So these are the 4 exclusive screens that we've been debuting over the course of the week. We're putting up 2 a day. And the 2 that we actually posted yesterday relate directly to the mission that we saw.
Ooh, tell me about that mission, Casey.
So, well, that mission involves Michael, Trevor, and Franklin.
I don't know how to use IGN's image display.
Going to the
FIB.
Well, no, they're trying to rescue a man for the FIB, and to do that, they're going to another federal building, which is the ISS. Is that right? Or ISA? I'm not sure.
Well, I just said FIB, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, clearly.
So at any rate, they're going into downtown Los Santos with the helicopter to have Michael rappel Rainbow Six Vegas style down the side of the building, jump in through the window, or breach the window, grab a guy, and run off with him. So the first shot was the actual helicopter scene. Trevor's flying the helicopter, and you actually play as Trevor. So very early on, you're already in a copter, which is really cool. If you recall from GTA games in the past how long it took to actually get a copter. And then that second shot is the action scene where now you've switched perspectives and you've gone from piloting the helicopter as Trevor to rappelling down the side of the building as Michael. And one thing that's interesting, and I don't know if we'll see this in the trailer, but as he's actually walking down the face of the building, you can see into the building, and you see all these people going about their work in
You're
their
controlling
office.
him.
You are, yeah. You're controlling him, kind of like walking down the face of the building, getting to the right floor, and getting behind this guy that you're gonna, jump in and grab. I was wondering how come those people didn't see him.
I was thinking that too, right? Like, yeah, that was one of those things. There's always that fine line between, is telling the story and being completely open world. If I would just stand there, would somebody recognize me and that'd be the end of the mission or whatever?
That's a really weird looking window washer. out there.
Yeah. Look at him go. Crazy.
You got a gun with the silencer on it.
How do you think they're going to balance the fact that people have, I guess, pros and cons, the skills they're good at? Trevor's the pilot, but they made it clear that, but don't worry, Michael can fly things too. Like, do you think it's going to be something like we won't know? You'll climb in as Trevor, you'll take off in a helicopter, you're going to have more control, or you think it's going to be in Michael, you just get up and spin out of
I don't. That's funny. That's why I'm laughing. The idea of like running Michael into the copter because Trevor's not near a copter. No, crashing.
Can't be that hard.
I don't know. That's a really good question. We'll need to find that out.
Yeah.
And maybe the idea is that's why you have somebody with different expertise. I imagine Franklin's kind of the wheelman. I mean, he, as a repo guy, he obviously knows his way around, a car and how to drive. And then Michael seems like the brains, and obviously if he was a bank robber, he needs to know how to put together, a robbery, but then I imagine he knows how to actually break into, vaults and crack banks.
Sure. Bringing up some more images here.
Yep.
Michael on the phone.
Yep, and let's talk a little bit about cell phones. Cell phones have figured largely into GTA games in the past. What do we know about how cell phones are going to work in GTA 5?
They're back. You have more relationships to handle.
They're back. IGN.
Yeah, I mean, it'll still be the hub world. It's gonna be more like an iPhone with your apps and your whatnots. The people you're hanging out with this time, interestingly, are gonna be each other. That's what they were talking about. You know, that you can be Michael and go golfing with Franklin, and kind of have that be this relationship around it. So you're not so much picking up random people who are then mad when you are in the middle of being chased by the cops and you can't hang out with them. I'm sorry, Packy. All right, get off my back. Remember that from GTA 4?
I was trying to think. I was trying to remember what your rap lyric about running from the cops was.
I drink maple syrups when I run from the cops.
Yeah.
There was a I don't know.
The
there
first
was
line might not be.
Yeah, I don't know if that's suitable for a live stream.
Yes.
Anyway.
So it doesn't sound like you're going to need to, during your off missions, take your friends bowling and whatnot.
Sure.
Dan Hauser also said that they felt like in GTA 4, a lot of the mission work and even off-mission sort of errands were buried in the cell phone. So they're going to bring that mechanic out of the cell phone and back onto the map. So you'll see different events, similar to Red Dead Redemption, where they would be these sort of dynamic mini events that would be occurring all around you, whether it's a broken down car that maybe you could help somebody with, or you could steal their car.
Yeah.
Or again, like we mentioned earlier, like an armored car. Those are little tiny mini heist events. Like when you see an armored car, you can forcibly take it over, and if you get away, then everything inside's yours.
Now we do have these the viewfinders to give away.
Yep.
The viewfinders are being given away. They're pre-order incentives.
Correct.
Right. For
Yeah.
GTA 5. Each one has a random sort of screenshot from GTA 5. Let's give one of those away to Leon, who writes in with an interesting question. Will characters be able to tan or be sunburnt?
Ooh, that is a
very interesting question.
Very good question. We don't know yet.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna wager a guess and say no. That will not happen.
Right. We do know that there will not be a bodybuilding mechanic like we saw in San Andreas. So you're not going to be trying to, buff out Michael or Trevor in the same way that you did potentially with CJ.
That's good. That was not my favorite part of San Andreas. What are you showing us here, Greg?
I'm showing you a blank screen. I was trying to full screen an image, and then that happened.
We are 6 minutes away from the arrival of the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yep. And we're going to stream the trailer. We're going to watch it once without saying anything, and then we're going to watch it a bunch of times afterwards. Yeah. Just kind of digging through it. But we want to know what you think. We want to know what your questions are. Tweet us at IGN, #GTA5. Just to be a part of the conversation, and you could win one of these handy-dandy little viewfinders that Damon was just talking about. And we don't know how many screens they've sort of used to dole out between all of them. 6 minutes. But you have a chance to get a glimpse at all sorts of things in the world, like tractors and farms.
It's true.
Fun times. I like this GTA business.
Do you?
Yeah. It's like
What's the best GTA?
Wow, that's a loaded question, isn't it?
Well,
I mean,
favorite. What's your favorite GTA?
Well, see, the problem is that when you say what's my favorite GTA of all time, when you think about a touchstone in your life, it's got to be GTA 3 for me. I mean, you know what I mean? I remember I was a big GTA fan on just PS1 in the top-down 2D version of it. And I remember when I got my...
I miss those. I
never
actually played the top-down.
My friend, it was one of those things...
Except for Chinatown Wars.
Sure. When my friend brought that over for the first time, and we just ran around there was Elvis's jogging and stuff, and you're just running them over. And you didn't do any of the missions. You just tried to stockpile and see how long you could last against the cops.
So it's GTA.
Exactly. But when I got the issue of EGM that had the first screenshot of GTA 3 in it, and it was open world, and it was Claude with the world, I was like, what? There's no way they can pull this off. There's no way this can possibly happen.
Yeah.
And then you got that game, and it came my freshman year of college, and it was one of those things that game came, and I sat in my dorm with the door open, and people would just flock in all day long and sit there and listen to Chatterbox and want to just see me drive around and kill a prostitute and do all this crazy stuff, and it was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as a world, though, obviously,
that was a thing.
Vice City was so amazing. An amazing
Vice
soundtrack.
City is my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I mean, the look and the style, and then specifically the music. I'm a child of the '80s, and also the '80s sort of dovetail they do. But you can't have the '80s without Michael Mann, without Miami Vice, and sort of the flavor of Vice City definitely spoke to those sensibilities, and so
for sure.
Are you Vice City?
I'm Vice City,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like San Andreas gets overlooked. And San Andreas was another one. It was just late in the cycle. We were already used to being amazed by GTA. And San Andreas is another one that I have those distinct memories of. My San Andreas memories, though, were just that I had a save that when I was finally done with the game, I would come home from school and play it, and what it would be I would take off in my private jet from one of the little dust airports, and every time, like, since my save was the same save, I would take off, and it would always start with Spirit in the Sky as I took off, and then I would just fly out somewhere and jump and skydive, and just run around and screw around and burn things and hover pack and do this and that.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I always wanted to get really fat, but I couldn't commit myself to do it. Like, not because I do it in real life.
Yeah.
I'm committed in real life, so I got.
You're escaping from
Yeah,
all that.
that's
in-
right.
Exactly,
when you play
exactly.
video games.
All right, I'm gonna go get a mouse for this thing. I'll be back.
You're gonna find a mouse.
Yep.
Okay.
We can do it. So
You
we
have 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I'm gonna go to the
That's right.
podcast room. I can talk to you probably the whole way there.
That's actually true. Can't hear us. But sure.
That's right. We have the ghost of Greg. Yeah, we're very close here. So be sure to stick around here after we debut the trailer. We're going to be going through it exhaustively over the next couple hours, and
Yeah.
we'll be taking your questions.
I don't know if they can hear.
And questions like, can you suntan or be sunburned in the game? Which they haven't confirmed, but to lean on again, we're pretty sure that we're going to do.
Yeah. And to reiterate, Casey and Greg have already seen the game in action, so they have a lot of insight into what GTA 5 is all about. So they'll probably notice things in the trailer that we wouldn't notice, and they'll also be able to answer certain questions that you have about the game.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we're doing this. I mean, it's really cool to celebrate new trailers when they come out, but we know how excited you guys are about GTA 5, and having seen it, Greg and myself, we wanted to watch it with you guys and then do our best to provide some insights about what's actually happening in the trailer. Because like we saw last year when we debuted the first trailer, we were just making our best guesses, having played plenty of GTA games. But there were plenty of things that we missed that we look back on now and say, oh, that's what was happening and that's what this means. And so hopefully we'll have many of those moments with trailer number 2 as well.
As you know, Casey, for most of this year probably, Halo 4 has been the most popular game on IGN.
Right.
And now I anticipate that now that Halo 4 is out, GTA 5 is coming in just a few months, I anticipate seeing that shift to GTA 5 being the most popular game on IGN.
Yeah, and especially with them announcing that the game's going to be available in spring of 2013, or confirming it rather.
Yeah.
That information was leaked through a retailer. Yeah, knowing that the game is so close. That
Months away.
Yeah, really. I think that the anticipation is going to continue to grow. And Halo 4 is obviously out, and people are excited about it. We reviewed it on IGN. You can check out our review there. And most people are playing that. Call of Duty just came out yesterday, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So now's about the time when all the bigger games of the year are either out or almost out, like Far Cry 3 comes out in a couple weeks. PlanetSide 2 comes out if you're a big PlanetSide fan. But now's the time when we start thinking about 2013.
Yeah.
And there's big games in 2013, BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider, Dead Space 3. I mean, there's a big list. I mean, I could go on and on, but obviously one of those games that's
GTA 5 is
giant is GTA 5. Yeah.
That's right. It's kind of the biggest game.
That's why next year's gonna be so much better than this year.
So,
I was expecting an argument there.
I didn't think that this year was.
This year wasn't bad by any means.
We're 45 seconds away from
I
the
know.
trailer now.
That's right. Yep.
All right, so second trailer for GTA 5 incoming presently. We expect
move
to
that.
see a lot more gameplay in this trailer here. So we're all going to watch it together in reverent silence.
Now you use a Mac. How do I full screen this window? Ask Twitter, they'll know. Twitter already knows that. Real quick, tweet at GameOverGreggy and tell me how to full screen a window.
Here we go. Second Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer beginning in 10 seconds.
Oh my god. At GameOverGreggy, how do you full screen a window?
What if they rickroll us?
That'd be funny.
That actually happened with GTA 4. Here we go.
Ah!
Refresh.
Still waiting for someone to tweet at GameOverGreggy how to full screen and a Mac window. Could have Googled it by now, I guess. Rockstar can't crash.
Here we go.
Looks like the whole internet's down. They've ruined everything.
That's what happened last time.
Well, you expect it, right? I mean, everybody's out there waiting for. There we go.
Here we go.
There we go. Ah, jeez Louise.
Oh, yeah, just say
When was IGN born?
1901.
Just put in the oldest state possible.
I don't know why it automatically jumped. I didn't like that.
That's fine. Just press enter. Oh,
When you put the date, there's a 7:20
720. There you go.
Ooh, I like the tunes already.
There we go.
He is not staying the night. He's a gone.
You know, I've been in this game for a lot of years, and I got out alive. If you want my advice, give this shit up.
Skeletons in your closet. Itching to come outside.
The guns and crank in this area go through Trevor Phillips Enterprise, or they ain't going.
And the way your face can
I'll swing by and sign the contracts, all right? Just ignore the bodies.
Can you tell me where Berto Beach House is?
That house right there, with the yellow stairs.
I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing.
I'm getting my money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs?
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Oh my God!
Hey, let's bounce. Bounce. We're bouncing now.
It's getting ready to go. It's getting ready to show. Somebody shut up back in the mountain. We're getting ready to know. It's getting ready to cry. It's getting ready to shout. Somebody turn up again. It's getting ready to pop.
That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
It's getting ready to go. It's getting ready to show. Somebody shut up at the mountain. We're getting ready to know. It's getting ready to dry.
Nice.
Not too shabby.
I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I loved the song.
Yes, you were right. The song was great. Let's hit it play again. All right. So let's start breaking it down, Case.
All right.
First off, this song is. Just kidding. I didn't expect you to know that. All right, so here we're at Michael's palatial estate.
Yep.
Going through. He's got his cars. He's got his fancy human. What? He's in what? Not their version of the Hollywood Hills
Is
Rockford.
Rockford
Rockford
Hills.
Hills.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is supposed to be that's like the Getty,
Whoa,
right?
whoa, whoa.
No, that would be the observatory.
Right,
I
okay.
believe. That's at least what it looks like to me. Griffith Park Observatory.
There you go.
So this is Michael's house. Obviously not too shabby. A house like this in Beverly Hills would run you $10, $15 million. There's a giant pool in the back, and then we see the tennis court, and Rockstar's confirmed all these mini-game.
Witness protection is okay.
Yeah, no.
That's
we should
right,
do this.
okay,
We
so-
gotta see something bad.
You know, you're a bad guy, you're a criminal, you rob banks, you must have informed on somebody or given some kind of information for this lifestyle. So, but yeah, this is his pad.
It's cars. Right up front.
Yep.
Here we go. Back to his annoying family.
What bum are they talking about? This is his daughter?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Look at her.
She has a tramp stamp.
Yeah, look.
She does?
Look at how skanked up she is. Ladies, if that's what your back looks like, skank. Just a heads up.
easy.
Oh, come on, everybody.
Man.
We're all having fun playing trailers. Yeah, so she was the one doing the Connect game we were talking about before the
Correct,
workout
yeah.
exercise. The wife in the demo we saw is the one who left, was being all mean to Michael, and took the car,
Yep, Real Housewives of Rockford Hills.
spending all his money, maybe driving him back. There's Michael himself,
Yep.
out by the pool,
He's,
living.
he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
For a lot of years.
Looks like he's enjoying some brown liquor.
I think we all should.
If you want my advice, give this shit up.
Another nice look here at Los Santos. Got the aqueducts down there. Like in Terminator.
Terminator 2?
Yeah, exactly. That's all we know about LA is Terminator 2. All right, so here we get into, this is what I was talking about, right? We went with the scope, right? We go from Michael, palatial estate here, to broke down, middle of nowhere, dirt town.
Right, and this area is called Blaine County on the map. That's where Trevor lives.
This is Trevor with his back to us.
Yeah, and that could be Trevor's trailer. This
no,
could
no,
also
he's
be
in trouble.
well. Something bad is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
This
yeah,
could be his
obviously.
friend's trailer as well.
Here's the action I was talking about. Trevor beating the hell out of people. Trevor right there, crazy. Cut here, while you're talking about his little tattoo
Yep.
on his neck.
Yeah.
Driving his dune buggies out there in the sand.
Sandra, crazy.
Fire is a big thing for Trevor.
It is, yeah. Now go back a little bit and let's watch the sequence where he throws this Molotov.
Trevor, in our demo, burned down a Jeep.
Right, so it's the
That little move, that little
yeah,
fist bump he
yeah.
does,
same sort of thing. We didn't see it here. It was actually a truck, I think. It was outside of a gas station, but it was like that. Like imagine.
He's killed all these people?
So imagine just
People
for
die in
kicks,
GTA.
he drives to a gas station, douses a truck with gasoline, lights it on fire, and that's where we actually met Trevor in the demo. As
Right,
we
that's
sort
how
of
they chose
warped
to
into him.
introduce this
Yeah.
crazy ass character. That he was ready to burn people.
And that's a
Just ignore the bodies.
that's a
funny, too.
patented GTA thing, walking away from explosions.
Yeah, of course. All right, so here, this
So-
looks like our first introduction, actually, to, like, I thought Franklin here in the blue, over on your left side, was coming to repossess Michael's car. That was my prediction before the trailer aired. I'm now changing that prediction already. This looks like their first meeting of all time.
Right, and real quick, Rockstar has confirmed that there's going to be friends of friends. So the 3 playable characters will each have sort of their own friends. This guy right here that's with Franklin, his name's Lamar, and it looks like you said, that this is the first time that they're going to meet. And I think Michael's witnessing them repoing and stealing this car, and so the wheels will probably start turning.
Tell you what I'm witnessing, Damon. Yeah. Can I get a witness?
That house right there, with the yellow stick.
Down there on the beach, the boardwalk. There we go, yeah. Pulling out, repossessing these cars. Hopefully, or just stealing them, who knows. But it looks like,
Yeah, so Michael sees them steal the car and he's like,
I like the cut of these guys,
I
Jib.
could use a getaway guy.
Yeah. Looks like, yeah. Getting yelled at here. He's got a nice place too, though, Franklin. Or maybe that's
Always nagging him. Come on.
I don't like this video player one bit. Oh no, video player. There it
We'll
is.
get back into it.
You ain't changing.
We got some action here.
So now that looks like Franklin's girlfriend. Now, one thing that Rockstar also did confirm is that there's not going to be the same girlfriend mechanic, or dating mechanic rather. Like in GTA 4, we were always running around trying to figure out who we're going to date, you know, what we're going to do with these women.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Oh, well, we got the
Fresh
trailer
off
right here.
the presses, we
That's
can
right.
get off this gosh darn internet. We don't like someone.
So, to take the place of this sort of dating mechanic, it looks like we're going to be managing the relationships between Michael and his wife, potentially Franklin and his girlfriend, and I don't see Trevor having a significant other right now. Don't imagine that whoever that partner is, she's very significant to him, right?
So we've downloaded the trailer ourselves. We're going to load it onto our laptop here so we have better control over it so we can
Assuming control.
go, yes. So we can comb through the whole trailer with a fine tooth, comb. But viewers, what did you think about the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5? Tweet us at IGN, let us know what you think. If you have any questions about it, ask away. Greg and Casey have seen the game in action. They have a lot of insight that they can share with us right now.
Now we already debuted the trailer. We already watched it once. We're starting to go through it. Greg's actually loading the full trailer on so that we can go through it in fine detail. But our predictions for the trailer, I think we're sort of both right. I had said that I think that we're going to see little sort of vignette moments to explain the characters a little bit more, and I think we got that. Greg said it was going to be explosive,
explosions,
and we saw Trevor blow up a house. So we both won.
We all win in the end. And that's what GTA is all about.
I like Michael.
I do too.
Cigar and brown liquor.
Now,
I can get behind it.
Am I the only one that's getting a Breaking Bad vibe here between Michael and his crew? Like we've got.
So we saw the train heist.
Yes,
And as soon as they show up in their like pest control outfits, I got that vibe.
okay,
too. Yeah.
right. But then what about the? We'll get to this a little bit in the trailer when he sits in the car with who's obviously somebody maybe from Franklin's crew.
Oh, I thought that was his son because he said
was it his
James.
son?
Yeah,
Oh,
here
God.
we'll get
Okay,
to it in a
well,
second.
then there
We've only been through this once.
Okay.
So look at me now. I get to leisurely scrub. Yeah.
But just his reactions seem to be sort of the reaction that Mr. White would have to Pinkman, you know.
And this is real quick. Lamar, right? So we got
Lamar is his friend.
All right, we got
correct.
Franklin and Lamar talking about
And
this.
who is Lamar? What's their relationship?
They're friends, according
Yep.
to Case.
Friends, okay.
Yeah, they are.
Just friends.
Well, no, they,
Like you and me, Damon.
They work together. And I believe that the man in the creek that's like looks like it's overrunning that trailer with Trevor could be his friend as well.
Another associate.
Yeah.
Your son,
Here
James.
you go. See
So
your
do
son
you see
James.
The
Yeah,
computer
okay.
there?
Yeah, another Mac. They're making more. They're making more of these the iFruit jokes.
He's
Yeah.
a good kid.
Now look at the facial animation looks good. I wonder if they taking some tricks from LA Noire.
They did not.
They didn't at
No,
all.
I asked Dan about that in the interview for Friday. They thought that on a game of this scale with so much going on that it would just be technically impossible.
It still looks really good.
Looks awesome, yeah.
He's a good kid.
So yeah, this is James, and it looks like James is working with Franklin right here. If this is James, this could be a red
James
herring.
is Michael's son?
According to what we just heard in this trailer, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
This
actually
guy is also tatted up. He's also got neck tattoos.
Yeah, he wants
He's
to be
like
cool.
ghetto. Why would Michael let his kids be so ghetto?
Well, he can't stop him.
See, that's the thing. I think the theme here is that his family's kind of gone out of control. I think he assumed that if he got out of the underworld and sort of went clean, had a family, that everything would be fine. And I think, as it turns out, that's not the case.
I see.
And his son Jimmy, formerly known as James, but his name is actually Jimmy in the game.
Why they call him
that
James
actually.
then? Why do they call him James
Because
then?
that's obviously like his either shrink or his teacher or principal, or maybe that's the guy that he works for.
I think it's Mike Shrink.
I think it's actually potentially somebody that might be threatening him. You know that. So your son James.
No.
You know,
now,
maybe,
now we're rewinding for sure. I'm cranking it up.
Maybe it's foreshadowing. I don't know.
Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs.
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Could be either. Setting
I'll make
something
a
up.
pizza bet right now that is not a threat.
So this is that we think this is James.
This is Jimmy. Yeah, that's his son.
Bounce. We're bouncing now.
So doesn't that reaction just say like Mr.
Sure.
White Pinkman? That
Sure.
sort of same dynamic of just totally two juxtaposed worlds that don't understand each other.
Yeah.
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Now that was him. That's Jimmy right there
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
boat that's falling. So,
Working with Franklin.
yep.
Also, I believe
Your
his name's
son,
James.
James. He's a good kid.
And it's an old man calling him. Like when my grandma used to call me Gregory when she died.
Bounce.
What is his next?
You got Nutsacky in the background too. There's a good old GT.
We're bouncing now.
Now pause it here. Who are these guys?
People that are, well, this is Trevor. We heard him make the threat about, if you're running crank or meth or whatever he said in the beginning. I think these might be just people who are
Bounce.
trespassing on his territory.
We're bouncing now.
We got here. What's that sign say? Just welcome, just to run in a recreation area. See it like in the middle of the I think you could take Trevor.
That was Trevor. You think I can take
Yeah.
Trevor? This is Trevor in the plane, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Looks like he's just ripping it off right here too.
Yeah. Well, I want to try to get. Look at
Something's
this-
on fire.
Look at his knuckles.
Dang.
Tough man.
Just put on a clean shirt, man.
Looks like he has a calculator watching.
And so here we
Here's
go.
Heist.
Here,
Right.
Well, we hope it's a heist. Yeah.
Yeah, or some level of emission that's building up. I mean, that looks pretty major.
And this poor dog.
Well, no, we've seen the artwork of Franklin with his dog, so my guess is that's Chop.
Oh, good call. Good call. What do we got here? More piss Weiser in the background.
Is there a gun out the window thing?
It
Yeah.
looks like it is, yeah. Doing a Chop-supported drive-by.
And then this is
That's
that
the
jump
repelling
right
sequence that you guys have already seen in action.
there.
Yeah, so this is actually from the demo that we saw. And real quick, guys, if you're just tuning in, we are looking at GTA 5's trailer number 2. We've already watched it in full. I think we're going to go back and watch it again probably every half hour or so, just for people who are joining a little bit later. But now we're going through it kind of exhaustively, trying to pick out all the details. Send us your questions. Send us what you think. Send us things that we're missing to @IGN, hashtag GTA 5. So, Greg, what's happening here from the demo?
This is when we're going to rip this guy out of the building, right? Now, Michael's rappelling down. Trevor's at the top in the helicopter. Franklin is across with a sniper scope, as they call it.
Who's the guy that they're trying to extract?
Some dude.
Do we know his significance?
We think that he's an informant that somehow is important to a mission that we're working on or somebody that we're working for.
Can you back it up? What was being smashed there?
Looks like a jewelry shop, maybe.
That shot. What's happening here?
Looks like a jewel shop, yeah. Looks like we're stealing some jewels here. Yeah, I remember like that. This is the same outfit it looked like as when they jumped out of the van in the first trailer from forever ago.
Right. So I think that they jumped out of the van and they've come into this place. Which
Notice there is a lot of green smoke going on, so it looks like
So
they are
they
using
are-
bug. They are using the bug juice.
Fumigating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
yeah,
jewel-
there you go.
jewelry.
Yeah, it's a jewelry shop.
Because that's the thing, like, the mission we saw wasn't a heist, but it had that heist feel. You know what I mean? It was this giant epic thing of jumping down, rappelling down, smashing, going away from the cops in a helicopter, shooting them. It wasn't a heist, though. The heist missions are going to be these, like, massive movie-like events, and then all the missions leading up to it are going to be kind of building to that next great score, which is really cool to see how that all comes together.
Look how much detail they put in this game. Like, they come up with fake names for every street.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'll tell you.
Whoa,
This is stolen right from Uncharted.
very
but I'll let it go.
Uncharted.
Trevor just bails.
Yeah. Dirt biking. It looks like a race.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you're
This
racing
could be a
maybe.
mini game.
Franklin?
That's Franklin, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No helmet. Bad move, Franklin. Trevor up to craziness.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. But he's an insane man. That's his whole thing.
Right. It's very
Trevor,
beyond.
my best friend.
This is our first meeting. This is what
Correct.
we got to see, yeah.
Yep.
That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
Is he like the story they're gonna tell people?
Yeah. So this is
It's like they're holding hands, Greg.
Oh, they're already fast friends.
really good friends. So this is where Michael.
looks totally fattier too.
Yeah, he kind of does. You're right. So Michael's introducing Trevor to Franklin. They're about to pull off this job that we actually saw
Yeah.
in the demo. Again, Trevor and Michael are old friends. They used to work together in some capacity, robbing banks and doing other scurrilous things. And Michael's presumably witnessed Franklin stealing cars, and they've decided to team up for mutual interests. And so in the demo from here, we would see Michael change into this rappelling gear that we see a little bit later in the trailer.
Solid snake suit.
Yeah, and then Trevor and Michael jump into the copter, and you become Trevor, and you fly right into the heart of Los Santos to begin the mission.
A lot to answer for.
Like this,
That's pretty good.
See no
Yeah,
evil.
that's good. That's great.
Pre-order now!
Pre-order now, and you'll get one of these viewfinders.
Whoa!
That's right. If you don't want to pre-order it, we can just give you one right now.
What, Damon?
Let's find someone to give it to. I know people have been saying.
Remember, everybody, tweet at IGN, #GTAV for your chance at winning a viewfinder.
Oh, and I just got tweeted. The song is "Skeletons" by Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
For all of those.
I like
of you
Stevie Wonder.
scoring at home.
Yeah, the first line is something like skeletons in the closet.
Give the shit up.
Let's give a viewfinder to Mike, who asks, "Do you think you'll be able to hike all the way to the top of the mountain?"
I know you will be able to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is, the idea is if you can see it, you can go there. Now we'll see how that actually works with the ocean mechanics, say for instance.
Yeah.
Because you can see a lot of ocean. I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
you're going to be able to go all the way down to the bottom.
Truman show it out there on the coast. But no, that's something I want to do is like, when we get the game, just go drive. Just try to drive the entire city, see a mountain, park the car, try to hike all the way to the top, find their little Easter eggs.
Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs.
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
So Franklin's on the boat there too. So this is obviously one of their mission
Connections, yeah.
I can imagine, with Franklin being a repo man, maybe he had the job of repossessing a boat, and they bring Jimmy along, and it just goes horribly wrong as he's like on the mast, about to fall out into moving traffic. Oh jeez.
Oh, jeez.
That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
So there's 3 playable characters, but it kind of seems like Michael is the main character.
I think he's the anchor to the story, right?
Right,
I think everything kind of revolves around him. I think if we're open on him, it'll be about, how he got to being this, top of his game, totally rich dude, but now he's out of money and now he's got to worry about this. And that's where you see, because they operate as like the trinity of Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, but in reverse. So, like a diamond cutter. But, Franklin's in the middle. Where's his career going to go? And then you have these 2 people who ended. And I think we start telling the story from Michael's angle. Because he's the most, fleshed out. Otherwise, this is Trevor pooping in his trailer. Which is how our demo started with Trevor.
Trevor Phillips Enterprise, or they ain't going.
So now, Damon, you haven't seen the game.
Nope.
Are you concerned about jumping around as 3 characters?
No, I'm excited about that.
Okay.
I think that's like a really exciting new mechanic for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yellow stairs.
The biggest question that I think, or the comment that we see the most now is, since people know there are 3 playable characters, people want 3-player co-op.
It's not happening.
I know. But that's the comment that I see the most.
Not in single player. So now, one thing that's interesting is Rockstar has not commented about multiplayer. They've actually solicited feedback, like asking the community what they would want out of multiplayer, but we potentially might see some level of co-op or crew
Yeah, well, we know the crews from Max Payne.
Yeah,
Right,
And we
right.
know there's open world co-op. We just don't, or open world
Multiplayer, right.
You can just talk, man. It's a 3-hour show about a trailer. All right, great, thanks.
That's Trevor, my best friend.
Everybody comes in here like we're freaking broadcasting the World Series. Like, what? It's video games, IGN. But anyways, yeah, Dan Hauser and I talked a little bit about multiplayer. He didn't want to touch too much on it, obviously, because he was getting it ready still and everything else. But they are trying to do something different, he says. It's a very different multiplayer.
Now go back to the sequence where Michael's rappelling down the building. Let's see if we can see in the window.
Okay. I don't think we can.
Oh, let's
I know, I'm down to try it. Don't get me
take
wrong.
a look.
Okay.
Just look, right?
Just try it. I like it.
He's a good kid.
What are we looking for here?
Rappelling down the window.
Rappelling
Can
down
we
the
see
window.
in the
we can
window?
see in the window. Okay.
You need to go back to that in a
The
second.
first frame.
Oh, so So actually, go back real quick before we do the window. Is that Franklin jumping over the hood?
No, I don't think so. The guy in the purple there?
Yeah. Real quick.
I got the fast fingers.
Okay, now look at that. Look at that. Purple shoes, purple shirt. San Andreas fans in the house.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
What was the name of the gang in San Andreas?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Tweet it to us. We'll send you a viewfinder. People, that does not look like Franklin though.
No.
That might be his buddy. Okay, let's go to the repelling section.
Well, wait, that license plate says 48AUE. I bet that means. Come on, let's not do that again.
Oh, see, look, we can't see through the windows.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's people in the
Well,
windows.
let's keep going.
I want them to see us.
So that's what we're talking about. As you go down, dang it, go back up a little bit. As you're rappelling down the face of this building, you go past many, many stories, and so you see people going about sort of their Dunder Mifflin kind of ways. Although it is a federal office. It's actually the IAA. I said it was the ISS. And what the heck's the ISS, Greg? Come on, get it together.
I don't know, man. You're just making it up.
Okay, so can we go back just a hair?
I will do the best I can with this
Can you
Mac.
not do it with the...
I don't know. IGN refuses to give me a Mac, so I have no idea how to use one effectively. That's it. I got that. And then I try to move the dot, and it goes like that. We're getting a lot of shots of the dog, though. I wish it was a wiener dog, but I'll live with what I got.
That has to be chopped.
I hope. Is he gonna be? You think he's gonna be a weapon? Is he gonna be like Shadow?
They
remember that?
What game was
Dead
that?
to Rights.
Yeah, I was
Shadow, no!
I don't know if we're gonna see dog mechanics to like Fable 2 levels or anything, but the pets are supposed to figure into the game, and specifically dogs. At least that's what we know about. Whether or not you're gonna be able to bring Chop along with you, or how he's gonna play in the missions, we're not sure yet. But
That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
Spring can't get here soon enough.
Who's flying the plane that just blew up the helicopter?
It's gotta be Trevor, right? Yeah.
Some serious flight skills.
Well, yeah, that's his skill. They've said that before. And then, yeah, you know, when you're legit crazy, you're just off the reservation nuts. That's what you got to do. All right, come on, man.
so and that wasn't just a plane either. That was a fighter jet that took out another plane with a missile or something.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can get all that off the internet. Find out how to fly all
that's
that.
right,
You get
yeah,
a manual. Oh, hey, I
So-
restarted the first trailer somehow.
Con O'Neill is going to win a viewfinder. He says the gang was the ballers.
Oh, okay.
oh, there you go.
Remember to be
Good
part of the
looking
show.
out.
Tweet at IGN, hashtag GTAV.
He is not staying the night.
I'm downloading this song
I've
tonight,
been
Greg.
in this
Yeah.
game for a lot of years.
They should have a little Shazam logo down there if you do it right now. Right?
So I think there's also, I mean, we haven't talked much about what this telegraphs as far as the plot and the mission structure. I think that there's a lot hinted at and foreshadowed here. Let's just watch it again.
I'll swing by and sign the contracts, all right? Just ignore the bodies.
Can you tell me where Berto's Beach House is?
That house right there, with the yellow stairs.
I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing.
I'm getting my money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs?
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Hey, let's bounce. Bounce. We're bouncing.
Radio PlayStation actually writes in to say that Jimmy's neck tattoo might read entitled.
You know what?
Good job.
Yeah, that's a really good job.
Good job, Radio PlayStation. Way to be asleep at the wheel, Radio Xbox.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, from the first trailer, we saw sort of this. You know, Rockstar is always about social commentary as much as they are, you know, entertaining us and letting us shoot lots of stuff with rocket launchers. We saw sort of the dichotomy between the 99 and the 1% in the first trailer. This could be sort of a nod to the entitled generation, you know, and that's the way maybe that Michael views his son and, you know, this up-and-coming generation. I thought I said Etnies.
I hope you said Entenmann's.
Cinnamon crumb cake.
So
What do you think is being hinted at?
I think that it seems to me that the relationship between Michael and his family is going to be a centerpiece in Michael's story. We see this drama between his wife and his daughter. Both of his children are grown and they're coming of age and they're trying to figure themselves out, it looks like. And for some reason, Jimmy's getting involved in what Michael's doing. I mean, what we see playing out with the boat, Franklin and Jimmy are on this boat. Looks like they're trying to steal it. And you know, maybe that's as a favor to try and win Jimmy over for Michael. Maybe that's you know, Jimmy trying to sneak his way into a mission to prove himself. I mean, there's all sorts of directions that this could go, but all of it, I think, is hinting at sort of the depth of the story, that that it isn't just sort of a gang story.
It's not just become King of the Mountain.
Right. It's not. Yeah, exactly. This isn't about trying to get the mansion on the top.
Which is exciting, man. I really like that. I really like that idea for it. And like that's the thing. Like when you were talking about why you were excited for the 3 characters, same thing here. Like, you know, they talk about that. You know, one of the reasons they're doing it is so that there's never a dull moment, right? Like, you're never with the boring, now I'm gonna drive across the city to do this. Like, I've done my mission, now there's all this downtime. It's like, your mission's done, and just like your favorite TV show, Breaking Bad or whatever, it cuts to see what Jesse's doing. It cuts to see the next exciting portion. So to have a narrative that's gonna keep moving and keep thundering forward sounds really cool.
Yeah, and in your preview, you were talking about sort of you use Sons of Anarchy as an example. Like, when you're watching a TV show that has multiple characters, a giant ensemble cast, whether it's The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, it swaps between, you know, different storylines, and that's a sign of a really good story, where you have these A, B, C subplots, and it looks like we're going to get a lot of that.
It's a real fascinating thing to think about, because I mean, a lot of games don't do that, but TV and movies have been doing it forever, right? And we always talk about, you know, video games as an art form and as entertainment and as this, that, and the other. It's interesting to see if more people will adopt that, or if it's what's going to evolve into. Your phone still screwed up?
So, taking a step
back... Dave Tool, everybody.
The voice of God.
You should be. Put him on camera right now. Alex Solomia.
Taking a step back and thinking about sort of the, you know, we're talking about story, we're talking about narrative, we're talking about sort of the theme of the game. GTA 5 was very Scorsese, was very Goodfellas, was very... It was dark, it was deep. I mean, the whole thing had that sort of oil-washed...
4.
Yeah, GTA 4. Did I say 5?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, GTA 4.
It's understandable this morning.
I know. You know, to the sort of mayhem that was San Andreas as a follow-up, you know, the first big follow-up, GTA 4, was this very heavy, cinematic, dark sort of view and presentation of New York and of America and the world. Dare I say that this actually has a sense of humor. It looks fun.
It looks like it, yeah.
And it looks like what they're hinting at is this is going to be a very different experience than GTA 4.
Yeah. Which is needed. I mean, that's what, you know, that's what they talked about too when we talked about it, right? The fact that they wanted to go somewhere different than New York and not have that filter, or you know what I mean, the East Coast, and have that filter. Here they can have these sun-splashed streets and these really bright, vibrant colors and do all this crazy stuff. And even just the music we're hearing so far and the way it's being presented, the way the action's happening, I think is showing a much more... Because when I think back to GTA 4, I don't think of it like... Oh my, like, you know, I'm talking about San Andreas before I have the Spirit in the Sky story and jumping out. I don't think back to GTA 4 that way. I think of the heavy decisions at the end, right? Like, did I want to decide for revenge, or did I want to go for money, or did I want to do this, did I want to do that? And I think about how dreary that world was at that time.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just, you know, through the lens of Nico, obviously.
Yeah, and this has a very different vibe. I mean, obviously, as you're mentioning, you know, the just overall look, it's very bright, Los Angeles. Also, I mean, let's talk a little bit about cities. I mean, whoa! We just received a giant delivery of
I brought this in like
coffee
an hour and a half ago.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
Anybody else want some more?
Yeah. Viewers at home, pour yourselves another coffee.
That's right.
We're going to be here all morning.
And
then we're coming back for PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we are doing another live stream this afternoon, right, Greg?
Yep, PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah,
I'll be here with Colin Moriarty, sorry about that. And Omar Kendall playing PlayStation All-Stars.
It's at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So.
Yeah, 5 p.m. New York time. Yeah. And if you're in Great Britain, I don't even know what country that is, so I can't help you.
Now, if you are in the UK right now and you actually want one of these viewfinders, I believe they're giving them away on Facebook. How does that work, Damon?
Facebook and Twitter. So they have like 200, 300 of these things to give away, maybe 500.
500.
Yeah. So any IGN fans in the UK, just make sure you follow IGN UK on Facebook and Twitter, and they'll be announcing just how you can win those viewfinders.
Yeah, so talking about cities, I mean, this isn't the first time that we've gone to Los Angeles in a Rockstar game. I mean, most recently, obviously, LA Noire. Before that, Midnight Club Los Angeles. And then, obviously, San Andreas as well. So, Rockstar, talking with Dan Houser when we were out in New York looking at the game for the first time, said that they weren't done telling stories about Los Angeles. And it's interesting to go back to LA even with the idea of heists in mind, because so much of the 3-Leaf Clover mission sort of had that heat feel, which from the Val Kilmer joint.
How could I forget?
That's right, because he's the one that stands out above and beyond Al Pacino and Robert Duvall. That took place in the downtown city streets of Los Angeles, that giant heist mission at the end of Heat at the climax.
Is Ashley Judd in Heat?
If she's not, she should have been.
Who's Val Kilmer's girl? I think it's Ashley Judd.
It was either her or one of her clones. Aren't there a couple Ashley Judds with different names? They all kind of look the same. Singularity D and B actually just confirmed that the gangs in San Andreas that wore purple were the Ballers, just like our other buddy did. So thanks so much for writing in and telling me that. You are awesome.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer.
Sam Hard writes in saying he noticed different rims on the same cars and wonders if this could be a hint towards customization of cars.
I doubt it.
We're gonna shoot that one down.
I mean, what? Do you want me to sit here and go, oh, maybe? No, damn it! I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen. I think cars in GTA, are pretty stable. I mean, outside of going to get them repainted and do, try to get away from the cops or whatever.
So speaking of getting away from the cops, did you guys get to see any of that mechanic when you guys saw the game?
All we saw was a chase that ensued after Michael extracted the guy, but it was in the air. So we were fleeing the scene of our stealing the guy out of the building in a copter, and we were chased by another copter. So that's not the traditional cop chase mechanic in GTA.
But wanted levels are there. That is
Correct.
that was one of my big questions. Was since you can now in free play jump around at will to whoever you want. If I just ran out my missions, my stars on Michael, could I then jump to Trevor and kind of cheat the system that way? They haven't ironed everything out, but they're working on figuring out how to screw me over and not let me do that.
What keeps going through my mind as I watch this show?
No, but you got to grin. I know it's gonna be funny.
Just all the animated GIFs I want to make.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
If you want my advice,
IGN.com, home of video game animated GIFs.
So, talking again about the narrative, it seems like we're going to see these missions that are fun to play, that are all building up to these larger heist missions, but that are really directed by the story itself. So, we see Michael meeting Franklin. We see him being this repo guy. It seems like it would be a natural thing for one of the first missions to be a repo, which it looks like might be that boat mission. Yeah. And then we also see what looks like Franklin stealing something akin to an Aston Martin off of a moving car transportation truck, or whatever those are called. Which looks crazy.
They're moving car transportation trucks.
Well, it's moving down the road. So
now, Vitz writes in with a very interesting comment. I cannot confirm this. Vitz, he says Michael's suit is the exact same as Robert De Niro's in Heat.
Oh.
That is a great observation, and it's not just. I would even say it looks like the suits that Val Kilmer and his team were wearing as they went to rob the bank and as they were fleeing.
This looks like a pretty standard suit.
Yeah, so. it's a gray sort of silver suit, but yeah.
Is this what he's wearing also in the towards the end when the three of them are meeting Greg? Can we get to that point?
Yeah, sure. And yes, I believe it is.
So he's just wearing one.
Because it's one of those things. Yeah, it's the same thing with Franklin wearing the same outfit in every scene. I think it's just that, and the same with James here. Mm-hmm. I think it's just that the characters have their set of clothes. I baited it, but it didn't work. No bites on the hook today. And like you were telling, you're talking your trash on Trevor there for looking dirty all the time. That's how he is.
Well,
yes, who he is.
That's how you, from a design standpoint, you have to make your characters visually stand out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to try to give everybody a defined character. And maybe it's just for the trailer. Maybe you switch it up. I mean, obviously
he's wearing swim trunks right there.
But they're the same color as the suit, so that's how you get around it.
If you want my advice, give this shit up.
Let's listen to what Trevor's talking about in the bar, because we do know that Trevor's a drug dealer.
Okay, so right here.
If you want my advice,
let me give a pause. Let me crank it up a little bit too.
give this shit up.
Okay, so he said the guns and the crank in this area go through Trevor Phillips. Olio, last name maybe confirmed, Trevor Phillips? Yeah. So maybe that's him sort of staking his territory.
Yeah.
Or defending it, rather.
The Dust Bowl.
Yep. Blaine County, run by Trevor Phillips.
And
Incorporated.
Greg, crank is drugs.
No, Damon, not Trevor. Anyone but Trevor.
It's the skooma.
Greg, go to the last shot of the three of them before the pre-order suggestion.
Just order me around some more.
Yeah. Calculator watch.
Mouse sucks.
Still wearing the same suit.
I'm telling you, he's only got one outfit.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we pointed this out earlier, but our viewer Dave, that's his full name, Dave Everhard, does point out that this is the see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil pose that they're doing here.
Michael looks very much like a monkey.
Wow.
It's true. Look at his face.
Kinda
He's got the chimpanzee's eyes. I watched that Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Rise of the one, the most
James
recent
Franco.
one.
Yeah.
You like that one? How was Caesar in it?
He was good.
Andy Serkis.
He was good. He does a good job of acting like a monkey. Got a blimp.
It's one of his gifts.
Yeah.
Leslie has a question. Do you think each character will have their own combat style?
That's a really good question. It's possible. Rockstar has said that the combat, the gunplay, and the driving mechanics have all been built from the quote-unquote ground up. So it's possible. I mean,
I bet you will.
right
I mean,
there,
yeah, right?
we saw Trevor just smash the guy's face into the bar. I don't know if that would be Michael's style to do the same thing.
I mean, you figure, look at these guys fighting back here, right? Like, I guess we don't get a good shot of it, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I think by coming out and saying they have three characters, and by giving you the option to move around, and by forcing you at times to be different characters, Rockstar knows what they're doing, and I think they're building this world around that. So I'd be really surprised if you got in there and everybody puts up their dukes and fights the exact same way. I bet it would be different.
Yeah, and they all seem to have specialties. Like we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but like Trevor is in love with fire, so he's definitely the Beavis of the group. Franklin's the wheelman; he's the repo guy. We also, in the demo, we know that he sits on an adjacent building to provide cover fire via a sniper rifle or a rifle with a long-range scope.
So he's
Franklin.
also a sniper.
He's also so he also.
Damon,
knows
you've
his
played
way.
enough video games. You know how it's easy to snipe things. You hold your breath, you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Fight a nickel.
Well, the trailer makes it seem like Trevor's the most fun to play.
Oh, the craziest for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing the most stuff.
Sure. I want to be Michael. I want to see the story.
He just stands around.
Yeah, it's just like Greg Miller. I can get behind that character.
That's
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted. Yeah, whatever. Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
And that sort of bickering dynamic adds some levity, but it also speaks to what's happening here. Like, I mean, I imagine Michael may not be super excited about getting back into cahoots with Trevor, but maybe he's between a rock and a hard place and he has to. So he's sort of enduring what Trevor's become. I mean, maybe Trevor wasn't like that before. I mean, what if when Michael and Trevor worked together in the past, like he didn't have that crazy cut?
Oh, I bet he
tattoo,
did. I totally bet that when it's going to be slowly revealed that they were.
flashback?
I was just going to say that.
They were totally the same, and then something bad happened, and they deviated. Whether it was that Michael got swooped up by like a mob boss, or because like Michael's whole thing to me, and I keep referencing Vice City, it's very Goodfellas, right? It's very Ray Liotta at the end of Goodfellas. Like he lived a horrible life, and he got out by selling out all his friends and just got to go live off in his own little world. And like so when
his $15 million.
When it broke away, something happened there for him and Trevor, and I think that's why Trevor is so screwed up and so messed up.
But imagine this. I mean, maybe they had the same kind of deal, and Michael instead sort of invested in family and in sort of, this domestic lifestyle. Maybe Trevor left, his old ways with the same amount of money, but that's just what he did with his life. He just went into drugs. He went into running weapons. And, now we meet these characters sort of like mid-story, and this is where they are.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to play a flashback like with one of their old heists.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when they were younger.
I mean, what this tells me is that there's so many different directions that they can go with the story. I mean, we're already talking about flashbacks. I mean, it's interesting. Like, we see sort of this progression that GTA is no longer just sort of like a fun simulator or a chaos simulator where you're just running around like looking to fly tanks and blow things up. All the missions look fun, the heist mechanic look fun, but again, it seems to all be driven by telling the story of these three very different characters. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are debuting here the Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer number 2. We are taking your questions on Twitter at IGN, #GTA5. We're giving away these crazy viewfinders.
They're crazy.
They are crazy. Just look at them. See how crazy they are?
When you look inside, you lose your mind.
Gary, one of our viewers, writes in to say that Franklin and his friend Lamar look like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence from Bad Boys.
Interesting. They are not
Greg.
cops.
Greg doesn't buy it.
Racism. Now here's the most alarming thing. I'll tell you right now. We're gonna have to do it. There's gonna be a heist on this building too, because look, I fucked it up. Oh, and I shouldn't curse either, but screwed that up too. Go back. Alex told me laughing at me there. All right, look at that. No dogs allowed in the back. No chop here.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
All right. It's been a good rewind feeder. I'll see you guys later.
It's like no droids in Mos Eisley, in the bar, in the cantina.
Now this looks like a Red Dead house to me.
I was going to
Just wanna
say the
put that
same
out
thing.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, such as Blaine County, it's run down. It's very different than Rockford Hills. And then down by the pier, which is, I believe, in the game Vesperia or Vesperi, which is the.
Sounds like a Japanese RPG.
It's the analog.
Tales
to,
of Vesperi here.
It's the analog to Venice Beach, right? Right, but that's
See in the background
that's
there.
obviously the Santa Monica Pier. Tweet us and tell us what the name of the pier in the game is called.
Do you want to go back and look at trailer 1 because I know it makes an appearance there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Wasn't prepared for you to say yes that quickly.
Yep.
AJ has a very important question. Since in Grand Theft Auto 5, there are 3 playable characters and you can switch between them.
Mm-hmm.
AJ asks, what happens if one of the 3 characters dies in a mission?
Game over. I guess you have to restart.
Well, one thing that, unless you ask Dan, that I don't know about is what does happen when you either get caught or when you die. Like in previous GTA games, you would either wake up in the hospital or at the police station, and you would have lost money.
They didn't talk about that. We don't know.
So on. Does Lamar have a neck tattoo? Like, it just seems like neck tattoos are the thing in this game.
That's a big thing in 2012.
Greg,
Cutting
let's get
people's
neck tattoos.
throats.
I'll get your name.
Damon, I think you should get Etnies tattooed on your neck.
Oh, you're really into Edmonds.
I don't know why I said that.
Damon get Entomon's tattooed.
That's right. Yeah, Entomon's better.
My money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs?
Your son.
So he makes a reference to gang signs, which maybe he is talking about the ballers. Maybe Lamar is either a member of the gang or a former member. And it seems like, those types of conversations, the interaction with his girlfriend and then the interaction with Lamar.
Pleasure Pier.
Pleasure Pier, okay. Like Lamar.
Magic.
You don't want to see this? You don't want to see it? It's come so far. The evolution, a year.
We can go through it. But it seems like Franklin's, criticizing Lamar, and maybe even they're having like a moral struggle, like trying to talk about what's better, ripping off cars or being in a gang.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, I think Franklin's. Here we go. Franklin looks like he's repossessing another car.
Yep.
Talking about Franklin, trying to find his way in the post-game banger world, right? Like, how do you survive? How do you mature? What do you change?
So now, speaking of tattoos, all these neck tattoos, could that mean that there's a tattoo mechanic in the game? Could we put a tattoo on Michael's neck? I don't know. No crop dusting minigame confirmed.
Look at how far people have changed. I mean,
this was a year ago.
A year
Right.
ago, yeah, before we knew anybody.
Yeah, so like that's not what Trevor looks like.
Yeah. So there they are, busting into what looks to be that same jewelry store. This one.
Okay.
Nika.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember, that was our big thing. I talked to Dan about, can we have crossover from other characters, other cameos and stuff. Obviously, he didn't confirm or deny anything in general, but one of those things, like he was talking about how this is spoilers for GTA 4, sorry. He would love to have, Roman pops in, but there was choices in GTA 4 that maybe Roman's not even alive anymore, so you can't do that. So there's a possibility for other things like that to come around, other people like that, but don't be expecting your favorites maybe.
Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier. There's not going to be a mechanic where you will be gaining or losing weight. The main customization you'll be able to make to your characters is with their clothes. We saw Michael there in his swim trunks. I don't know how heavily that's going to play into the story stuff. I imagine that there's going to be some missions where you're going to need to look a certain way.
Sure,
so
put on different outfits.
You're not going to necessarily be wearing like a tutu going into like a bank robbery. Unfortunately.
It's not Saints Row.
Correct.
Simeon asks, are you forced to switch characters or is it a switch whenever you want sort of thing?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's all over the map, yeah. I mean, mission structure, they've talked about it. There's going to be solo missions, there's going to be duos, there's going to be the trios and stuff where you have to go do it. And in those instances, there will be, now jump to this, now jump to that.
Right.
But then there's also going to be, like the mission we saw, right, was a great example of it, and that's why they showed it to you probably, is that we flew as Trevor, we land, we go down as Michael needs backup fire, we go to Franklin, and then when the mission's wrapped up in the main part, we can either jump between being Trevor or we can jump between and flying the helicopter, being Michael and shooting out the back. And so like there's those options that there's going to be this kind of play as you want. You don't like flying the helicopter? Don't fly the helicopter. Don't worry about it. Go be Michael. You don't like shooting? Go fly the helicopter. Go do this. Kind of not choose your own adventure, but choose what you like the most out of what's happening right now. And then when it's free to play, it does the Driver San Francisco joint where it's just
So we're confirming Grand Theft Auto 5
free
is
to
a
play.
game.
Subscription fee. When you're freely running around the city, jumping around at characters at will, you can decide, I'm Franklin right now, but I want to go be Michael, and you hit the button and you do the zoom out and where you see the entire map, and you see where the other two guys are, and you can beam into their bodies. And the cool thing we keep talking about that is that when you beam into them, you do not beam into them in a T-pose. They're not in bed every time. They are driving.
In a coffin? What is
this? This is how Damon Hatfield sleeps like a vampire, so when I'm with him, I have to do it. You beam into them and take over their lives as it's happening, which is cool.
Yeah, the characters are persistent, so they're going about whatever they would be doing. In the demo that we saw, when we sort of warped from Michael to Trevor, we found him mid-poop.
Yeah.
He was literally in a trailer trying to push one out, which is kind of gross. And that's going to be interesting over the course of the game to, as you switch characters, just see what the other's doing. One of the things I thought about was I wondered if we might potentially miss certain story elements if we're only playing as one character, but it seems that as the story stuff comes up, it's going to guide you through that. So
yeah, I think he's going to bottleneck in certain areas, right? Where it's like, all right, now you have to go do this as Franklin.
Right.
Now you have to go do this.
And that's how the switching is in the missions. I think what the game does is sort of recommend and push you towards playing as the person that's in that moment of high action, like swapping between Michael breaking into the building and then Franklin providing cover fire from across the way.
I want to check out this taco truck. Maybe that's one of the dynamic events. You can go
Steal a taco
truck.
truck?
Go steal a taco truck, make a few bucks on the side.
Could be cool.
It's a free idea for you, Rockstar. You're welcome. I'm looking forward to flying around the city a lot. As big as it is, as much stuff's going on.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we're talking about all sorts of stuff from this trailer. Talking about flying, Trevor is an ex-military pilot, friends with Michael and Franklin. He's this crazy bald guy here. So if you play as Trevor, from the very beginning of the game, you can fly planes, you can fly helicopters, all you have to do is find one, and you're airborne.
Now, Mr. Brightside asks, do you think you'll be able to explore crazy things underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rockstar has, they went out of their way when we visited New York and saw the game to say you'll be able to, what is it,
from the tops of mountains to the depths of the sea.
From the tops of Mount Chiliad to the
yeah.
depths of the sea. So we really don't know exactly what we'll be able to do in the water.
But there's got to be a submarine mission. There's got to be some crazy ass submarine heist mission thing you're doing, and then you'll be able to pick up that little submarine wherever, and then just explore the ocean floor looking for sea wrecks.
Maybe there's
Do you
buried
think there's
treasure
sharks in there?
Oh yeah. But I want to see like I want like a Titanic kind of thing, like a ship down like that. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do when I get the game. Just go right to the water, start my exploratory missions. I'll try to get an accurate map for IGN wikis of the ocean floor. I'll map the ocean floor in GTA 5. You're welcome, Sam Claiborne.
There's a lot of trains in the game. Like one of the screenshots that we have, we saw somebody parachuting over a train over a giant chasm. And
So I wonder if that's Trevor getting onto the train and then...
you're right, and then jumping off.
Right,
yeah.
and he crashes it.
Let's see if we can try to bring it all together here for me. No, we lost the mouse. There it is.
Bounce. We're bouncing.
That screenshot's presumably Trevor flying. Where?
I think we see him fly that plane in the second trailer.
And I'm looking for him parachuting.
Go to, yeah. I think we have that screenshot live already.
Yeah, well, there's a parachute there.
There you go, yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, do that one. I think that one works. So this isn't the same one that I'm talking about. But so there's the bridge. And in the shot where he's jumping off the train in the trailer, that train appears to be going over either this bridge or a bridge like it. So we also, in that other scene, we saw a train drive by. So maybe trains figure in as something that we're going to be knocking off, or train heists. I don't know if we're going to be stealing methylamine or whatever it was in Breaking Bad, but.
Man, what? It's time for Breaking Bad to come back.
No, Greg, it's not. You have.
Let's finish this.
You realize we're gonna go to E3 before we see more Breaking Bad.
That's not true. Is it really?
When does Breaking Bad
God.
start?
Summer.
I just assumed it was like in the spring.
So what you're saying is by the time Breaking Bad comes back on, we'll already be playing GTA 5.
We'll be done with GTA 5.
Oh my
They'll
God.
have been out for months.
What a bunch of. God damn it, AMC.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why do they do that?
So another thing that figures in is we see a lot of dirt biking, and specifically we see Franklin doing it. So there's a picture that Greg was just on with Franklin right here by Street Bike, and we were talking earlier about how each one of the playable characters has unique hobbies. So I bet that motorbike, off-road motorcycle racing is one of Franklin's things.
You're trying to find the parachuting onto the train?
I don't think we actually have the screenshot posted yet, so
Oh, we
maybe
haven't
that'll be
posted it
one
yet.
that we post live.
Oh,
So
look for today.
Yeah, look
IGN's
today,
GTA
so you'll see it.
coverage.
Oh,
You go to IGN, and then you got this one here. You go the GTA 5 blowout thingy.
Or if you watch Games on Monday, you'll see.
That's right.
Cuts to it there.
There you go. You got all these articles.
Oh my gosh,
Click on
it's so
whatever.
much GTA stuff. You gotta swap out that image there.
I know. I noticed no one did that yesterday.
All right, let's go back to the trailer.
Trying.
Guys, if you're just tuning in, this is IGN Live presents GTA 5 trailer number 2. We just revealed the second GTA 5 trailer, and now we're just going through it with a fine-tooth IGN comb, trying to pick out all the details. Send us your questions.
Yeah.
To at IGN,
Or
hashtag
just
GTA 5.
other things you're noticing in the trailer that we haven't picked out yet. Make sure you let us know. Somber Al asks, what kind of things do you think we can spend the heist money on?
See, the money is the big question right now for me. One of the big questions about this game, not the big question, because they talk about money as a tool in Grand Theft Auto 5. That it's not just you're amassing these millions of dollars to go spend on RPGs or whatever. It plays a critical role in the story. It's a tool. So I asked them point blank if that meant like you're going to have to get X thousands of dollars before this next mission unlocks, and they didn't want to go into that. So I don't know exactly what it means or how it's going to go. We do know that every character has their own pool of money. So,
We also know that you're not going to be buying property, so that's not where you're going to be spending it on.
Yeah.
We know that you're going to have more to spend it on over the course of the game, particularly right around the end game, because in GTA games, as you amass money, as you do like in many other games, once you sort of get near the end of the single-player campaign, you just end up with so much money. There's, you
you don't even think about it. Yeah.
Is it Ammunition? Is that the name of
Ammunition,
it?
yeah.
Is that going to be back? Is that where we're going to be buying our weapons?
Actually, it is back. Yeah, I believe that we've confirmed that. Actually, you want to go through and pick out some of the brands? I mean, there's all sorts of weird GTA.
Yeah, they got the
pun,
Pisser
like,
Weiss in
like
back
you
there.
just said right there. There's
Nutsaki.
the Nutsaki.
Yes.
No, don't go away.
What brand of mountain is that?
That is a Mount Chiliad mountain, I'm guessing. It's also just interesting to note, I'm actually from Southern California, and around the LA area, there's a giant sort of geographic demographics. Meaning you've got, it's early folks, meaning you've got cities, you've got smaller towns, you've got suburbs, you've got these open sort of rundown deserty areas like Blaine County where Trevor lives, and then that scene that we were just looking at with the plane, you've got these sort of mountainy areas. So there's lots of different types of spaces that you're going to be spending time in, and underwater as well in the ocean. Who knows? Will there be a swimming mechanic in the pool to do laps? Like, will that be one of Michael's minigames?
No, probably not. I got an idea. Hold on, before we go out doing something, you keep talking about other stuff.
What kind of whiskey is that? We don't know. There's another train. GTA 5 trains.
Daniel has a good question. When does this game take place? Today?
It's a modern day story, yeah. I don't know if they'll say it's 2013 or whatever when they get there.
Yeah, I think that we can tell sort of the era based on the cars. I think that's a good indication, cars and fashion, and it seems like the cars are current modern cars. You know, we're not seeing a bunch of 90s cars or early 2000s, or predominantly rather. One thing that I don't think we saw in this trailer, but we saw during our demo when we were introduced to Franklin, in what is the analog to Venice Beach. Again, I don't remember what it's called. Tweet us and tell us what the name of Venice Beach in the game is called. But he walks.
I am.
Franklin walks out of a pot dispensary. So,
In which trailer?
no, in the demo that we saw.
The demo. Okay.
Yeah, so that's not in the trailer. And we know that there was a mechanic in GTA 4 where you could drink and then drive. So perhaps there will be some sort of marijuana.
High driving?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not driving. Maybe it's just sort of like watching TV or something. Now in GTA 4 as well, there was tons of sort of offline entertainment, so to speak. You could go to internet cafes. You could also just watch TV in your apartment.
Comics. Wasn't there a Ricky Gervais on there?
Well, yeah. I mean, everything was sort of punned and sort of twisted versions of real TV shows and movies and radio and whatnot. So, who knows if that'll be in the game? But you know, maybe there's like virtual marijuana use and Adult Swim moments. I have no idea.
What wiki are you building right now? Are you ready?
I'm gonna do it in 2 seconds. Just hold your horses, little guy. It's gonna come here. All right. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna pick out brands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just confirmed, it's called Vespucci Beach.
Vespucci Beach.
Vespucci Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's their Venice Beach?
That is their Venice Beach. Correct. Look at that window, folks.
Yeah. I like how this is happening. I don't know how to use Max, so that was not good.
It's gonna
Greg,
be okay.
that's your photo right there at the top of the screen.
I know, I'm logged in. I had to log in to make the wiki.
You gotta check your news feed, Greg. Come on.
I do check it actually quite a bit, and that's how fast it fills, because everybody loves Greg Miller.
1,186.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so go to IGN.com, right? Here, we'll do it right now. You go to IGN.com, you click here. This is important, Twitter kids. Listen up. You go to IGN.com, then you go to the top story here, you're gonna click on the blowout, you'll go to the wiki. I have now created a special section of the wiki, GTA second trailer, right there. Now you click on the second trailer, and you're gonna have this. This is all I've done, a basic skeleton. You can put whatever you want in here. Go ahead, you put all this jazz in here, and it'll start tracking who's doing it. Whoever top contributor is, when the thing ends, Sam Claiborne will send you one of the little eye things and take care of you. But come build out whatever we're missing, take screenshots, put from the trailer, put in all the information.
When the thing ends, when our live stream ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But that's the way we can start naming off brands. You can start adding them to the thing.
We'll send him more stuff.
Okay.
Whoever the top contributor is, I've got some stuff, t-shirts and games and stuff.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of junk under my desk
we'll
too.
find some stuff on our desk.
All right, fine. So everybody, IGN.com/wiki/grand dash.
But you got to be the top contributor by 10 a.m. Pacific. So you have an hour.
That's right.
Yeah. Right now, VMEV is in the lead with 33 edits. That person, that man or woman, has done nothing today. So get it together. Get out there. Build out whatever you want. Build out the wiki in general. I mean, like, the only thing you can't touch is this because I built it and I don't want to touch it. Speaking of which, I should fix it. All right, anyways. So now we want to call out brands. We saw Pisser Weissen in there. There it is again.
And that was, Pib Weiser.
All right, so that's it. There's one.
We got one, guys.
Good work here. Good rewind. Man, this mouse sucks.
Rarey writes in asking, do you think Franklin's dog will be usable in some missions? We were talking about this earlier.
Shadow, no!
We think maybe the dogs or pets do play some sort of role in the game, don't they?
Yeah, Rockstar has confirmed that they do. We don't quite know what. In the trailer, we see what we presume is Chop, Franklin's dog, that we've seen in previous art treatments. You know, Chop looks like he's there during what looks like a drive-by, and then there's another sequence like in an underground parking lot where he's there as well. So I would say yeah, right there. There you go, and then right there too. That's outside, but who knows what that will mean? Who knows if the dog will be playable? Oh my God! Probably not.
I think it'd be awesome if he was a weapon. Chop needs to be a weapon.
Yeah.
So
or an ability.
We're going to be here for another hour going through this trailer. Is it time for another viewing of the second trailer?
Yeah.
Sure.
We can do another viewing, and then we'll scrub through it again and point out the biggest stuff that we've noticed.
Sounds good. We'll start right now.
Yeah. Here we go. The second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. Just released this.
He is not staying the night. He's a gone.
You know, I've been in this game for a lot of years, and I got out alive. If you want my advice, give this shit up.
Skeletons in your closet, itching to come outside.
The guns and crank in this area go through Trevor Phillips Enterprise, or they ain't going.
And the way your face can
I'll swing by and sign the contracts, all right? Just ignore the bodies.
take your mind.
Can you tell me where Berto Beach House is?
That house right there, with the yellow stairs.
I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing.
I'm getting my money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs? Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Oh my God!
Hey, let's bounce.
Bounce. We're bouncing now.
It's getting ready to go. It's getting ready to show. Somebody shut up like the mountain. We're getting ready to know. It's getting ready to cry. It's getting ready to shout. Somebody turn up the heat. It's getting ready to pop.
That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
It's getting ready to go. It's getting ready to show. Somebody shout out at the mountain. We're getting ready to know. It's getting ready to dry.
Out of 5.
I like it.
Coming a year after the first trailer.
Yeah. They're in no hurry.
I like it a lot too, and like we were talking about, this game is only a few months away. Coming spring
I've been in
2015.
this
Right.
game for a lot of
When do you
years.
guys think it'll come? We don't have a
Okay,
date.
that's a lot.
What's your projections?
I think it'll be April.
I was
If you want my advice,
in May.
Yeah, April or May. So Max Payne 3 came out May 14th or 15th, I think, this year.
I think GTA 14 in April. It was your birthday.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like right
it was
around
the
your
week of
birthday,
my birthday.
Yeah, and that was in 2008. When did Red Dead come out?
It was right before, it was like pre-E3 week, so in May probably.
Okay. And then LA Noire came out in May as well, if I remember. So, like, GTA has sort of carved out a specific niche in the year. Like, most people don't put out games in April or May, or at least big games, because Rockstar's kind of owned that time.
Greg, what are you doing right now?
Oh, I'm trying to fix the wiki, but I broke it, of course. So I'm doing what I can, and then I'm just gonna text Sam Claiborne.
Okay, so we should scrub back through the trailer again.
Well, now I'm kind of in the middle of this project, so you should just watch the trailer for a
You can
second.
just watch it and talk about it, I guess.
Bounce.
I mean, IGN wikis are so easy to use. I know it's crazy that I can't, but
Hey, Damon, if people are just joining us, what the heck are we doing?
We are watching the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. This is the debut of it, and we're rewinding it over and over again, pulling out details, seeing what we can spot in the new trailer. And we're also taking comments and questions from the viewers. So if you notice anything really cool about the trailer, just tweet us at IGN. If you have any questions about it, tweet us. Greg and Casey have actually seen the game in action, so they have a lot of insight that the rest of us don't have on the game.
people are filling out the wiki.
Good.
Oh my God, it's happening right now. Yeah, so just backing up a little bit, if you're just joining us, Greg and I went to Rockstar, or visited Rockstar in October. We saw the game, we saw a mission. Let's just assume maybe somebody's watching right now and they haven't seen any of the coverage on GTA
What
5.
the frick?
And let's just back up for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Back
So
that train up.
there are 3 playable characters in GTA 5. You'll be able to switch between all 3 characters during off-mission times. And the 3 characters are Michael, who is actually on screen right here. He seems to be the lead or anchor character. And then there is Trevor, who's his old friend who used to work together, knocking off banks, who now looks like he's in really bad shape. He's a drug dealer, lives in Blaine County, he runs weapons. And then the third character is Franklin. That's Trevor right there. Crazy man. He has a thing for fire. And then there's Franklin on the far left.
That house right there, with the yellow
Boom.
And Franklin's a repo man. And so all 3 of these characters are sort of forced together by circumstances that we don't entirely know, but we know that Michael's life, he's left his life of crime, he's in a witness protection program, and he is struggling with having everything, but not knowing either what to do with it or not being happy. His wife just spends all of his money, his kids are out of control, or they don't, either respect him or something like that.
Well, we talk about right there. There's a Jimmy with his entitlement or entombments tattoo.
Right.
Like I'm sure they've all just been, they've never had to work for anything, right? They've been spoiled their whole lives.
Right.
Their dad's super rich. Now that they're out of money, trouble's afoot.
bounce.
Everyone's turning life a crime. Yes, I saw that Easter egg. Who would have thunk?
Oh, kids. So the other big thing that we've been talking about this week, on IGN we've been doing a full week of coverage for GTA 5, is the Heist mechanic, or rather the focused on giant, big-scale heists, taking cues from the Three-Leaf Clover mission in GTA 4, and how these three characters are going to play out a series of missions where they're we see them knocking over a jewelry store. You can you could take over armored cars, but they're building up to these bigger heist moments that are similar to this Three-Leaf Clover, to that mission that was in GTA 4, and that figures heavily into the story of GTA 5.
It's gonna be a long wait.
This is Michael's family.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Daughter with the tramp stamp.
We've confirmed
Right.
skank on the daughter.
She want the mom.
It's true.
Viewers at home, if you have a tramp stamp, we still love you.
No. I said if you had the tramp stamp and that thing going up your neck.
Oh man.
Here's a.
Look at you skanking up your arms. You're all
I do not have.
You're
tattoos
all
on my
gonna
back.
burn.
Yeah, I guess I am a skank.
Viewers at home, if you have tramp stamps, you should
Your
probably-
wife and children.
The mom says he's not spending the night. Who
Her
is she
boyfriend.
talking about? Just the boyfriend.
Yeah,
That-
the
that-
boyfriend wants to stay over.
Is that an important part of the story?
I think so. Sure, that's the integral struggle, right? Your
Yeah.
kids are growing up, and you're trying to lay down the law, but can you? How can you?
This is coming your way, Casey.
I know. Oh God. Yes.
This is Michael.
Yeah.
Sort of one of three playable characters, maybe the anchor character.
Right.
He's out here relaxing, trying to escape the argument that's happening inside.
Right.
I assume.
And we do know that he's the main protagonist. Greg interviewed Dan Houser for a long time while we were in New York visiting Rockstar, and he was sort of the first realized character, and he's the character around which the story is going to sort of play out, and he's kind of this nexus between Trevor and between Franklin.
He's also a botanist, apparently, picking up these leaves.
Well, you were Casey was mentioning similarities to Breaking Bad earlier, and Rockstar is they're very informed by pop culture, and Breaking Bad is the best crime drama going on right now. So I think obviously they've got to be taking some at least inspiration from
For
Breaking
sure.
Bad. And here's Michael cleaning out his pool, like as we've seen Walter White do.
Absolutely,
Many,
yeah.
many times.
And just a quick note, Michael's wife's name is Amanda, and his daughter's name is Tracy.
How are we getting this?
We have
We have
secret
informants on the inside.
sources. Yes, because we, of course, as we mentioned, we visited Rockstar in New York in October, and we saw the game.
I get what we're driving at with the Breaking Bad stuff. I don't see Michael and Walt being the same kind of character.
Well, okay, no. Let's back up for a second with the
Back it up!
Back it up. So
Get the car moving truck train
I don't
out
see
here.
them being the same character in that Walter White went through this arc where he was this teacher become meth,
Become bad guy.
Yeah, guru.
Drug
I see
overlord.
sort of the opposite dynamic with Michael, but I think that there are similar tensions where you've got these people that are being brought together over something that they probably don't want to necessarily do, but they feel like they have to, and they're figuring out how to work together, and they're coming into these situations where things can go horribly wrong at any minute, which is very Breaking Bad.
I see that.
Like, for instance, slight spoilers from Breaking Bad. Somewhere,
Everyone's
I
dead.
don't remember what season this is, but where they steal the barrel of methylamine. And
This season. Oh, well.
yeah, and instead of rolling it, because they didn't figure out that they could have rolled it, they try and carry it, and they're just and just sort of the comedy that ensues by watching people try and do things that maybe they're not good at. I think that that's going to inform some of the progression that we see between Michael and Trevor and Franklin, where they've come together and now they've decided we're going to start robbing things. We're gonna, we need to rob a bank. I mean, what could go wrong? I think we're going to see a lot of those things happen, and a lot of these near-miss situations. Trevor jumping off of a train, Trevor, jumping out of a Jeep that's falling out of an airplane, appear like these sort of like, oh God, kind of moments.
And this is our fictional Los Angeles.
Correct,
This
Los
is
Santos.
Los Santos that we see here. We see a train at the bottom, and we actually see trains featured pretty prominently in the trailer.
They call LA the train city.
They
don't.
not
No.
do that.
Now, before you go on, so this is the Los Angeles Basin area. That
Almost there.
there's tons of areas like this in Los Angeles. That looks like the Capitol building over there to the right of the logo. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but Rockstar has visited Los Angeles several times, even recently with LA Noire, obviously with Midnight Club Los Angeles. So we're going to see the city of Los
I just
Angeles.
want to point out this car over here.
There you go. That's
It's the Banshee, right? It's always my favorite car in Grand Theft Auto games. The
Yeah, it's
Banshee.
the
That's the
version of the
convertible.
Cobra, right?
It's the convertible. I don't know that part. I don't know real cars. I only know
Right.
fake ones.
And
Sorry, Damon.
that truck down there looks like the type of truck that Trevor blows up in the demo that we saw down there on the lower
truck?
left. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Los Angeles portrayed yet again by Rockstar, and all sort of the analogs. Venice Beach, the pier, so on and so forth.
This is the Stevie Wonder song, right? It's called Skeletons.
Skeletons, correct. We do know that the radio stations are going to come back. When we saw our demo, what are the songs we heard? We heard "Give It to Me, Baby," "Give It to Me, Baby."
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Do you remember?
I got my notes. Let me
We'll look it up. We'll fact check this stuff.
We just saw like sort of downtown Los Santos, the analog to downtown LA, and this is sort of an area outside of Los Santos where Trevor lives.
Correct. Now, again, I'm an LA native, so I grew up in and around Los Angeles. Just north and west of LA is an area called Antelope Valley, where you've got Lancaster. You have, even if you go a little bit farther outside of the city, you're going to reach Bakersfield. Blaine County seems like that type of a territory. It's on the outskirts, like Desert Rat sort of area where you've got lots of desert. We see Trevor driving around here in what looks like a sand rail or like a dune buggy. So Trevor has sort of gone the opposite direction in life. Michael, like we talked about, he's got a mansion, he's got a full family. Trevor is living in a trailer, and right here, actually, if we let this play out, we're going to see him sort of staking his territory as a drug dealer and as somebody who is running weapons.
Now, this big sign at the top, is that pronounced Pisswasser?
Yeah.
Is that right? So
that's an old standing GTA one.
Oh, okay.
That's been around for a while.
Okay, gotcha.
That's one of their established brands.
Now, Greg also pointed out there's a sign right over there to the left of the door
blue
that says
one.
No dogs allowed. So if you go towards that bar with Chop, perhaps you're not going to get in. You have to leave your droids outside. Is that right?
Chop is Franklin's dog.
Yeah, that's right. Chop.
He'll be making an appearance soon.
Something's gone wrong here. Look at that satellite on that trailer. Am I right?
This is the gentleman we see him from behind. This is Trevor, one of the other playable characters.
Correct.
Right, looking at his back. Yeah.
Here he is. This is how he deals with the local competition, apparently.
Yep.
What does he say? He says something like, all the guns and crank in this
go
area
through
go
me.
through Trevor Phillips Enterprises.
Yeah, the guns and the crank in this town go through Trevor Phillips Enterprises.
Here's a good shot of Trevor. This is one of our playable characters.
And the notice is neck.
Neck here says, his neck tattoo says cut here.
Right.
His neck here.
Yeah, and we talked about this as well a little bit earlier. A lot of neck tattoos in GTA 5.
There was a big thing in 2012.
Right. There's the dune buggy, right? And we see out in the distance tons of satellite dishes as well.
Molotov cocktails.
Yep,
He's sort of a pyro, this guy. I like this shot's really good where he does this little fist pump. He's like,
That's Marston Farm, right?
There's 3 bodies
Probably
out here. He's apparently killed a bunch of people.
Yeah. Now what does it sign back there? Just as a guarantee.
I can't quite make out that sign. So as the trailer goes, we meet Michael first, and then we meet Trevor, and now we meet Franklin.
Correct.
This is Franklin on the far left with his friend Lamar.
Yeah, his friend Lamar. Yeah.
They ask. This is where they first meet Michael. They ask him where they can find this house, and presumably they steal this car.
Right, which is what we're about to see, we believe.
Right there, with the yellow stairs.
And we have to imagine Michael witnesses this, and he starts thinking, this guy could be a good getaway.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's Franklin driving, obviously.
You ain't changing.
I'm getting my money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs?
So pause it real quick. So that could be a hint, what Franklin just said, towards his motivation. Like, he's probably longtime friends with Lamar, and maybe he wants to get out of this racket. Lamar seems to be involved in some sort of gang activity, drug sales. We know that Franklin's a repo man, so maybe this connection that he can make with Michael will he's looking at it as sort of the way out of low-life kind of thuggery.
Yeah, trying to get to that next level. He's still on the very early GTA protagonist role, right? This is what we keep talking about. Trevor and Michael are in the sunset of it all. They're at the end of their story, whereas Franklin's just starting, kind of like a Nico, kind of like a CJ.
Yeah, and the 2 stories that we have between Michael and Trevor, I mean, they couldn't be more different. So these 2 sort of sunset characters and how their stories are going to unfold, I think is really unique and new to the GTA series. Having these sort of juxtaposed lifestyles that we sort of see the consequences of living this life and how it could maybe go well for either of them, but it doesn't, even though Michael has or appears to have everything, it doesn't seem to have gone maybe according to plan, because now Michael's getting back in touch with Trevor, and they're sort of getting back to it.
I mean, here we can see the logo on the computer is their sort of parody of Apple.
Their iFruit thing.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Now-
also saw in the image of the girl
Yes.
taking the self photo of
Yep.
herself on her fake iPhone thing. And
Now,
here,
does that bus look like Franklin?
I was trying to figure out who the bus was of. It's probably not a Franklin.
I imagine it's not.
Who is Michael talking to here?
I still say therapist.
Let's look around at the office real quick.
Trevor does mention his therapist, right? And the guy says something about Michael's son here.
Yeah.
James. He's a good kid.
I'm gonna go with therapist.
I think he's talking to his therapist. Yeah. Oh my God! And here is his son.
Yeah, not a
Maybe
good
not a
kid.
good
Now, before you fast forward, what's happening in this scene right here? We've talked about this a little bit, but
Yeah, Franklin on the boat. The question is who's driving the car in the red. Could be Lamar. Could be Michael. Looks like a more pale complexion.
looks like it's Michael. But we don't know if Michael's a wheelman yet. We know
So
Franklin
Michael is bringing his son into.
I don't
his
think
life
it is.
of
Well,
crime.
now-
See, I think it's going to be that Jimmy/James went and got hooked up with Franklin on his own or something.
Right.
I don't
And
think
that's
it's
that's going to be an additional tension. So maybe one of the B stories is Michael's trying to, figure stuff out. Maybe he's trying to sort of reconcile or earn the love of his family. Who knows? But we know that Franklin's a repo man, and it seems like they're kind of like turning the idea of repossessing cars on its head by having them what looks like repossess a boat.
Yeah. That's yeah.
And go horribly wrong back to sort of the Breaking Bad illusion. Like, what could go wrong? Well,
Yeah, yeah. Everything.
Michael's the son is about to fall into moving traffic on a freeway.
He falls.
Can you go back?
Whoever is driving the car catches him.
Yeah.
You want to go back?
I was just going to see if we could tell who it was, but we probably can't.
Hey, let's bounce.
So here is Michael and his son.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if Michael is trying to bring his son into his life of crime.
Bounce. We're bouncing now.
Now, Michael seems like a really sympathetic kind of character. Like, he doesn't seem like a hard-edged guy that might. It seems to me like that he wouldn't want to bring. Like, my hunch would be he wouldn't want to bring his son into his life.
Well, I mean, that's what he says in the
capacity.
very beginning, right? Like when the voiceover when he's at the pool about how he would just leave all this crap behind, pretty much, not get into this. So I think, that is it, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how things get so off kilter for him and the family.
We're back to Trevor now, where he's sort of again dealing with the competition.
Yeah, stomping a mud hole, walking to dry, as JR would say.
And Trevor is a pilot. Will probably be doing most of the flying for him.
Yeah.
This is a shot of the heist.
Right.
Maybe.
One of them.
Well, yeah.
What do you mean maybe?
Yeah,
I mean, if we hadn't seen the demo and you saw him rappelling down the side of a building and blowing up a thing and grabbing a guy and going away, you'd be like, oh, that could be a heist. But it's not a heist, so maybe this isn't a heist either.
Well, let's take a second and think about it for a second. So, again, if you're just joining us, we are rewinding trailer number 2 for GTA 5. Greg and I actually saw the game in New York in October. We visited Rockstar. Heists figure heavily into GTA 5. The demo that we saw Michael rappelling down a building, breaching the window, grabbing an informant, and escaping in a helicopter. Missions like that, Rockstar says, are going to sort of be the building blocks leading up to these larger heist missions that are similar to 3-Leaf Clover from GTA 4. Now, from this look, or from this scene right now that we're seeing in the trailer, I mean, this looks like a major job. This to me looks like a different job than stealing the guy from the building, and then the other job that we've seen where they're in the pest control outfits and they're knocking over the jewelry shop.
Yeah.
I mean, blowing up a bank vault, I mean, this is what it appears to be, or some vault somewhere, seems kind of major. Now, by the same token, this doesn't look like a bank. This looks like maybe a parking garage, or where are we?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, that's what it looks like, some kind of storage warehouse and stuff.
This is just how I think maybe they're entering whatever facility is that they're going to rob. This is how they get in.
Okay, but they're wearing different disguises too.
Yeah, this is
Different mission.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Their faces are covered. So this is
I mean, we're jumping to conclusions. It might not even
Yeah.
be them. It could be other bad guys doing other bad stuff.
I'm actually going to go with Damon on this one. I think this might be sort of a middle of the road mission.
But Damon said it was a heist.
Well,
So you're not going with Damon. You're going with Greg.
oh God.
Champion of the world! He shocked the world!
That's Chop.
that's Chop.
Yep. Oh, wait,
He's,
we have some brands back there going cheap.
Yep.
Yeah. This looks like a drive-by, but I don't know. Chop is like taking point on the drive-by. I don't know.
Something bad's happening. Yeah. They're out there rolling together.
Yeah. And then this gentleman coming across the hood is not Franklin.
No, but we talked about him possibly being one of the gangs.
Yeah.
Because he's got the purple.
Right.
He's wearing baller colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purple shoes, purple shirt.
Good shot of
Look at how amazed this guy is by the dog.
Chop there, yeah.
What?
Who knows who the guy driving is?
Is that a Rottweiler on my hood?
The guy driving the car is a crosswalk attendant. I just made that up. Look at the thing he's wearing.
Look like a construction worker.
So we touched on this a little bit. What's happening here in this scene, Greg, from the demo that we saw?
This is Michael rappelling down the side of a building to break through the glass to yank out an informant to get helicoptered away by Trevor, with Franklin covering him with a sniper rifle from across the way.
Now, again, for people who might just be joining us right now, we're talking about how the game works, switching between 3 different playable characters. We did see this mission actually working. At the beginning of the mission, you play as Trevor. You're flying a helicopter up to the building, at which time you switch to Michael, and you're rappelling down the building, and then what happens?
You rappel down the building, you come up on it, you get to see a cool cutscene of these guys interrogating this informant, threatening to do very bad things to him with a maglite flashlight. Or, a flashlight looks like a maglite. And then you break through, you breach the glass, you grab your guy, you pull your gun, you get some pop shots on these dudes.
But then
things get hairy.
Right.
And so we kick out to Franklin across the way, who can then do sniper scope on these guys and take them out. Then back to Michael, final few shots, yanked out, back into the helicopter with Trevor. Then you either fly as Trevor or you shoot helicopters chasing you as Michael.
Yep. So now the swapping mechanic is, we've already talked about how it's a little bit similar to Driver San Francisco. I would also say for people who have already played Call of Duty Black Ops 2, it's a little similar to swapping between different units in the Strike Force missions, where you have different sort of characters that you have access to. In this instance, I mean, literally what happens after you breach the window and you're inside, you can take a couple pot shots, but then the game itself gives you an indicator to swap characters.
Yeah.
And literally the camera just goes whoosh, and again, for this example, the camera just goes across the street to Franklin, who's on top of a building adjacent to where you are, and you zoom in, and now you're providing cover for Michael, which definitely moved the action of the demo in a different way.
Mm. Here we can see like the third sort of job that we've seen. And they're robbing a jewelry store.
Yeah.
With the pest control outfit. So we saw it from the first trailer back when the character models were different.
Yeah, it looked like their outfits were different too. But it looks like it's the same kind of idea.
And that looks like Michael there.
Yeah.
Somebody on a motorcycle.
It looks like, I think it's
Franklin.
Yeah,
Franklin's a motorbike guy.
He's got the white arms and the blue shirt.
This is the Uncharted 3 mission.
Now, once he jumps out of the Jeep, pause it. Okay, now look at how high we are above the world. Now, the Grand Theft Auto games have always had, or they haven't always, but the more recent games have had, pretty big skyboxes that you can fly around in and explore and whatnot. To me, this seems higher than we've ever been. That sounded funny.
I'm higher than
it's higher than we've ever been, Olio. But we seem to be at a higher altitude than we've ever been in a GTA game before, as Trevor is just jumping out of this Jeep that's falling out of an airplane.
Yeah. Again, Franklin and his motorbikes.
Yep.
Some sort of.
So each one of the playable characters seems to have hobbies which translate to mini games that make sense for their characters. And let's do this for a second, actually. Let's break down Michael, Franklin, and Trevor based on what classes they would be. Like, if they were classes, I mean, there's specialties. Like Franklin's the wheelman; he's the driving guy.
Yeah, but then he's also a sniper.
Okay, right. But he's good with vehicles. We know that cars and motorbikes.
Yeah.
Trevor is a pilot. He's also a psycho.
Pyro.
Yeah, he loves fire, and we've seen him do the fisticuffs. So
the fisticuffs.
Yeah. And then Michael.
Brains
is the brains, but we also just saw that scene in the jewelry job moment where he was breaking the glass. So I mean, he also gets his hands dirty as well. So can we actually break these down as classes? Or no, we can't. IGN.com.
I don't think it's that cut and dry. I think the characters bleed out a lot more than they're
Right, but they all seem to have specific specialties that they bring to the table that would make sense then to swap between. And also, I think it's interesting, you're not going to be playing one character that suddenly knows how to do everything. So I think it actually lends a little bit more realism to it that, why would Michael know how to fly a plane, for instance? So maybe Michael's not ever going to be flying a plane. It'll be Trevor that'll be flying.
Here's Trevor on top of the train that he's doing something with. That's a good shot.
That's an awesome
shot.
shot.
Off the train.
Very Ellen Page.
I don't remember. That's
Beyond Two Souls?
She jumps off the top of a moving
She
train
does
in
that and
Beyond Two
does like the
Souls.
little like ghost move.
Now, to be fair, there's not two trains colliding, but
Yeah.
Trevor, my best friend. That's Frank,
And this is
the son I always wanted.
Yeah,
It sounds like he's like, this is gonna be our story when we talk to people. You're my best friend, Trevor, or Frank's the son I always wanted.
Exactly.
whatever.
The young pup
Your
coming up.
therapist has a lot to
Who's fat in the shot.
it did look like they were holding hands there
And
for a
then
while.
Trevor mentions Michael's therapist,
Yeah.
which lends
Right.
credence
Yeah.
to our theory
Yeah,
that
I
he's
agree.
talking to his therapist here. Here, a jet is blowing up a helicopter. So things have escalated at this point whenever this takes place.
Now, watch, it also goes through the helicopter as it passes.
Yeah.
Watch. Boom.
And of course, here are our three playable characters doing the see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. And that's the trailer, the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Lots of digesting.
It's coming in spring of 2013.
Yep.
If you pre-order it, you get a viewfinder, like this one.
That's right, and we've got some to give away now. If you tweet at us and send us questions or pick out things that we potentially have missed. Now, so at the very beginning of the game, we're seeing Michael's life. That was his mansion/villa in Rockford Hills,
Get out alive.
and his family, and his
If you want my
pool.
advice,
Jazzman points out that there is Ball's graffiti on the beach Michael is sitting on when Franklin shows up.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah, I think Lamar
Go through
is
Trevor
in Ballas.
Phillips Enterprise, or they ain't going.
and maybe Franklin was too.
Now it's time to move on.
Swing by and sign the contracts, all right? Just ignore the bodies.
Can you tell me where Berto?
Right there. Is that what we're talking about?
On the bench.
Ballers.
Does that say Ballas?
Yeah, Ballas. Ballas.
Okay, there you go. Cool.
Good call. Good catch.
Yeah.
Good catch, Jazzman.
house right there. With the yellow stick.
Xavier asked, what is the single thing you are most excited for?
You ain't changing.
I'm getting my money
For
in
me,
the hood. I'm cool.
it's either the
Cool what?
size
Slinging
of the
dope and
world,
throwing up gang
being able to
signs.
explore that, or it's the three
Your
playable
son,
character
James.
mechanic that switching characters sounds like a lot.
For me, it seems like it's going to be a really interesting story. Like I keep coming back to that. You know what I mean? Like this part here, Michael seems like an endearing. You know, I always wanted more when Goodfellas ended. I always wanted that movie to keep going, and this is kind of that jump forward. It's something different for the franchise as far as you've won GTA. Here's what the future would have been like. I'm interested to see that and what happened with Trevor, and now bringing Franklin into the mix. I'm really interested just to get down and play it, and then go and map the seafloor, as I've said.
The son I always wanted.
Casey.
I would say, yeah, the story just seems really intriguing to me. I mean, all three of these characters seem like they are in a place in their lives that they're unhappy with. We see Franklin with his girlfriend. He's stealing cars, and she says, you know, no matter how many cars you have, you're never going to quit. So there's tension there. There's tension between Michael and his family. Trevor's just crazy. So
Yeah.
I mean, that to me seems like a setup for a very different experience, you know, versus what potentially comparatively might be a little bit more monochromatic with Nico Bellic, for instance. Like, you know, this guy who's an immigrant comes over and wants to get away from the life of crime, but very quickly goes out and gets rocket launchers. Sorry, it's a little reductionist, but
Yeah. You don't have time to boil the whole 40-hour campaign.
that's right. So, but I'm sort of. You know, I'm kind of getting to like these characters from what we've seen. The demo that we saw as well, I think, played into that. So I would say, yeah, seeing how the story unwinds.
That
is gonna
house
be
right
interesting.
there. With the yellow
Dante
stick.
asks, what nationality are each of the characters? But I don't see any reason why they wouldn't all be American.
Yeah, I don't think we.
Yeah, I mean, Michael looks like he might have some sort of Italian blood. I mean, that seems to be the illusion, but that might just be me being some sort of like mafia racist. I don't know.
James.
Mafia racist. The worst kind of mafia is the racist.
Taco truck.
Can't wait to drive that around.
Bounce. We're bouncing now.
I'm still not singing this song, I'll tell you that.
No, it's good.
Good job, Stevie Wonder.
What was the name of the guy in Red Dead that was the grave robber? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The guy that was just with Trevor reminded me of him, where he was stepping on the guy or whatever he was doing out by the side of the road.
I always wanted.
Everybody tweet at IGN hashtag GTA 5. What's the name of the grave robber?
That's right, yeah. in Red Dead.
I forget that guy's name.
He's an awesome character.
I liked Red Dead a lot.
Red Dead is a very good game.
Yeah.
We should play Red Dead.
Now let's talk. Speaking of Red Dead, let's talk about the scope and the size of the world in GTA 5.
So,
How does it measure up compared to other GTA games in Red Dead?
So the past 3 open world games will fit inside of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah,
The
with
map
room to
fit there,
spare.
right?
Yeah,
So GTA 4, Red Dead, and San Andreas are supposedly all fit inside the map of GTA 5.
That's how big the map is.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And the map is open from the beginning. You can go wherever you want.
Yeah, like for instance, when we were playing GTA 4, if you remember, when that came out, I don't know if you did this, but I would always open the map and look at the other territories that weren't unlocked yet and think, when am I going to get to Alderday? Whatever it was. And so in GTA 5, not only is it all unlocked, but all of the characters start in very different locations. And so swapping between those different characters off mission, you'll be able to sort of have the equivalent of a very easy fast travel.
I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing.
He looks like he has a nice apartment there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
What?
Seems
Slinging
like he's a
dope
good
and throwing up gang
Maybe it's
signs.
his first. Maybe just moved on for life.
Your son, James.
He ain't changing.
He's a good kid.
So if Michael's in therapy, that also sort of suggests that he's trying to figure things out, trying to work on his life, trying to find a way. And maybe this is his reaction to that, getting back into fine.
Could it be court mandated? Part of witness protection.
Yeah, we do know that he is in a witness protection program, which seems to be working out for him fairly well with his mansion.
Chris asks, do you think there will be a drug-selling minigame like Chinatown Wars?
Yeah, whatever.
I think it's entirely possible. We know that Trevor deals drugs. We also know that he sells weapons. We don't see this in the trailer right now, but in the demo that Greg and I saw earlier in October, when we were introduced to Franklin, we actually see him come out of a marijuana dispensary down at the beach. And so there could be, we don't know how drugs are going to play into the actual game, but I mean, it's entirely possible.
I got one here for you. This one comes from Ethan Frame. He tweeted at me, if Michael is in the witness protection program, is it possible that it's not his real name? There were thoughts it was Tommy. It's a good theory, and it is possible that Michael's not his real name, but we know for a fact,
not Tommy.
Yeah, Dan Houser talked to me about the fact that the PS2 standard definition GTA universe and the HD universe they started with GTA 4 are two completely different universes.
Right. They did confirm that some familiar faces from GTA 4 and the episodes from Liberty City will resurface, but they did say that Nico's not going to be one of them.
Yeah, and anybody who could be dead.
Yeah, and you already talked about sort of the difference between the standard definition universe of GTA.
Yeah.
And the high def version or universe of GTA. Like they're not looking to sort of cross-pollinate those characters, so we're not going to see characters pop up from like PS2 era.
Yeah, quad stuff.
GTA games.
He's a good kid.
Robert asks, do you think some of the map will be locked at the beginning? But
Nope.
no,
They said nothing will be locked at the beginning. It's completely open.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the way that you swap characters is very Google Earth-esque. So you, when you engage the mechanic, literally the camera just pulls all the way out of the map, and you can see the entire map. And it just, when we saw it move from Michael in Rockford Hills to Trevor in Blaine County, I mean, it was a really big jump. I mean, just to show at a glimpse, sort of, or at a glance, how big the map was.
Yeah, whatever. Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
So here's the thing. PS3, 360, all confirmed.
Right.
Will it come to PC? Will it come to Wii U?
I don't know about Wii U. I believe it'll come to PC. Right now, Rockstar has said that they're focused. I don't remember the exact specific direct quote, but they said something to the effect of, we are only focused right now on our console versions. And I think the operative phrase in that is right now. I mean, their games come to PC. They usually come after the console launch. I mean, the PC community around GTA 4 is still very vibrant. And we were seeing
because of the mods.
Yeah, we were seeing giant mods still post even earlier this year. Like,
that awesome Back to the Future one.
Yeah, and then there was that photorealistic overlay that they put on it that made it look super real.
Yeah, so I think it'll come to PC.
What do you think? No Wii U ever? Remember, Wii U games are showing up like a year and a half later, so there's plenty of time for them to bring it around.
It's entirely possible. I don't know, though. I mean, Rockstar doesn't seem to be long for the Nintendo.
I mean, they tried with Wii. They brought Manhunt 2 came to the Wii, and they brought Bully to the Wii.
Yeah. Chinatown Wars was a DS exclusive.
All right, I take it back. Entirely possible. But I mean,
no, I think it's open for discussion, right? Because Chinatown Wars didn't do gangbusters.
I bet if the Wii U takes off, it's phenomenally popular. I mean, they port it over there, and then all of a sudden they can sell another 1 million copies.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Now wait a second. Go back real quick to the scene with the guy that I said was a crossing guard attendant.
That's Trevor, my best friend.
Now I gotta do the thing where I gotta move fast to get to the black bar.
Dude, I believe in you.
There's no traction on the mouse.
We'll get there, guys.
That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
What did you want to point out?
The car was older, so I was wondering if we could look at the other cars. Maybe they're all older, and maybe that's a flashback scene.
Well, you see older cars in some of the Trevor scenes.
True. Let me just let it run through again and get ready to pause. Or if you got it now, then. The world will be humming Stevie Wonder today.
He is not staying the night. He's a bum.
You know, I've been in this game for a lot of years.
She said that he's not staying the night, he's a bum. So, Michael's wife does not like his daughter's boyfriend. Right. Presumably.
The guns and crank in this area.
So yeah. There was like an old car from the 50s that drives by right
Right.
there.
So.
Right there.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a flashback. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, there are
older
cars that aren't strictly just
Yeah,
modern.
For
I
sure.
gotcha.
Both of those cars are kind of.
But this is speaking to the being in the broke down part of town
Trevor
too.
Phillips
Yeah.
Enterprise, or they ain't going. I'll swing by and sign the contracts, all right? Just ignore the bodies.
It's going to be coming up here soon after we see Chop.
Beach House is?
That house right there with the yellow stairs.
I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing.
I'm getting my money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs? Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Hey, let's bounce. Bounce. We're bouncing now.
All right, coming up right here. Keep going. Nah. So what I was looking for is to see if perhaps there were other older cars that, I mean, that car looked like something that might be out of the 80s. So, and what we're talking about, guys, is obviously we're looking at trailer number 2 for GTA 5. Tweet us your questions at IGN, hashtag GTA 5. We're talking about sort of the relationship between these three characters. It's the first GTA game with 3 playable characters, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. And we're talking about their potential backstory. And Michael and Trevor have been longtime friends, used to work together. They were bank robbers. Michael's now living in
Rockford Hills.
Well, in Rockford Hills, what's it called? My
Hollywood Hills.
My brain is fried. No, not that. Like in Witness Protection Program.
California.
That's right. He's alive. But we're talking about the potential for them to sort of tell the backstory and show the backstory between Michael and Franklin, and maybe there will be flashbacks, maybe there won't.
Now, Dope Freshness says that the dog Chop is chasing the guy in purple that jumps over the car.
Crank in this area.
Oh, okay. So that
That could be they're after some guy from the Ballers, maybe.
Right, and maybe there's some connection between that and the conversation that Franklin and Lamar are having, because it seems like Franklin is at odds with Lamar in that scene, talking about living a life of a in a gang, selling drugs and so on. That's going to come up right here.
I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing.
I'm getting my money in the hood. I'm cool. Cool what? Slinging dope and throwing up gang signs?
Okay.
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
Hey, let's bounce. Bounce. We're bouncing.
His son's a redhead. I don't know where does that come from?
Michael's gone gray, so you don't have
Here we go. They think they're chasing
well,
this
no,
guy.
well, yeah, well, okay. Hold on. Sorry, I'm doing it on the fly, Damon. Can't all be like you and memorize the freaking trailer, all right? God.
Ichi asks, do you think ammunition will return? And you guys confirmed that earlier, right?
Yeah, it will return. That will be because see, the gun laws in Liberty City are different than they are in Los Angeles. So there was a crackdown, I believe, if I'm remembering the fiction correctly, in Liberty City. So the weapons that you procured in GTA 4 you had to do illegally. That was part of the side missions with your those loyalty missions with your friends. What was the guy's name with the dreadlocks that you had to go get the weapons out of all the trunks?
I don't know, but we do have a
GTA
name for the grave robber.
Oh, from Red Dead.
Connor reminds us his name is Seth.
Oh yes, thank you so much, Connor. Yeah. So the guy in the scene where Trevor's looks like he's curb stomping somebody just reminded me of
I've
Seth.
been in this game for a lot of years.
Now, Sindre would like to hear our multiplayer
If you
prediction.
want my advice, give this shit up.
I think it would be amazing to carry over the idea of performing jobs and heists into a multiplayer environment.
I loved the multiplayer in GTA 4. Yeah. The
Okay.
cooperative multiplayer.
So, I mean, most of that was deathmatch, cops and robbers. It was very, traditional kind of PvP stuff. I wonder if there could be some kind of persistent world events where you have to work together with your crew. Rockstar's already confirmed that there will be crews, same as in Max Payne 3. In fact, you can, if you have a crew established for Max Payne 3, you can use them in GTA 5. I would love to see where you have to sort of group up and work together as a crew to perform a certain number of jobs, and then maybe as a group you can pull off one of these bigger heists.
That'd be cool.
Hey, let's bounce.
I like that idea.
Okay.
They've confirmed it's open world multiplayer. I mean, it seems like then, yeah, you're gonna be running around doing things. It was one of those things for me, there wasn't enough structure to Red Dead multiplayer. Like, I enjoyed it, and I'd get in there and do the shootout with some people and stuff, but I liked a lot in GTA 4 where we had missions and we had objectives, and, you know what I mean, we were going and doing this, and we had to get the helicopter, and then we go, I want more of that. Not story so much, I don't mind if it's story, maybe it's more like a Black Ops or whatever, where it's like, Spec Ops, and here's what you go do, and this is your little thing.
I think it could be both. Now, an interesting note, like all the HUD's turned off here, so we're not seeing any of it. When we saw GTA 5 last October, we saw the menu, and you access multiplayer from the single player menu. So it could be the exact sort of same transition. If you recall, like with GTA 4, you would jump right into multiplayer from single player mode.
I've been in this game for a
So
lot
his
of
wife's
years.
not redheaded either.
I know.
So where's the ginger?
Is he adopted?
It's a recessive gene. I mean, it could be buried in there.
Michael could have been ginger and Gone Brown.
Ingon Brown?
I don't know. Dude, my hair used to be way
Tweet
red.
at
Look
IGN,
Michael
hashtag
tweet.
GTA4 and explain red hair to us.
That's right. We're gonna get down to the bottom of the red hair.
Maybe he's adopted. Maybe he's a witness protection too. He's not really a son.
Can you tell me where Berto Beach House is?
That house right there.
That's pretty dumb.
Yellowstone.
Where's Roberto Beach House? Directly behind you. Right there.
So now, Greg, for people just joining us, we're looking at trailer number 2. This whole week we've been talking about GTA 5, sort of like pulling the lid off of everything that we've seen so far. You ran a story called "The Top 5 Things You Need to Know About GTA 5." What were those things? Like, if somebody really hasn't seen what's going on with GTA 5, they don't know much about the game.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say are the big things?
I mean, scope is the big one we keep talking about, right? How big the map is, how huge the world is. Highest highs, depths of the ocean. You can fit San Andreas in there, you can fit Red Dead in there, you can fit GTA 4's map in this one map. You know what I mean? It's all open to you from the very beginning. You have to get going. Up next, the big part, obviously, is 3 playable characters. That's the giant change, right? GTA forever has been, hey, here is the story of one person doing this. And Rockstar really, with GTA 4's world, played around with that a bit, doing it in a different way, where they gave you Nico's story, but then they also gave you 2 episodes. They gave you completely different characters and completely different experiences, and were able to show you another side of the city and do different things, and do skydiving and base jumping, and do motorcycles, and do Sons of Anarchy kind of stuff. Really go out there and experiment. And now they're trying to bring that into one game and give you that experience where you're getting to try all these different characters, do all this different stuff. For me too, then it's about changes to what we've known forever, right? We're talking about the fact that the big changes are happening with this game, and that's what I think makes me more excited about it. I talked about it on GameScoop when we were headed out to see it. I was excited to see Grand Theft Auto 5, of course. I love Grand Theft Auto. I'm a big fan of the franchise. But I wasn't like, oh man, shaking in my seat. I can't believe I'm going to see GTA 5, damn it. Ah! But when I sat down and they start talking about it and explaining that they're doing something different. They're trying to do something different. They're telling this narrative that's going to jump around between these characters. There's not going to be any downtime. They are giving you this focus of heists now. You're doing all these missions that in the past, Nico goes and does this, Tommy goes and does this, blah, blah. You're doing all these little things to get the minimal gains, but now you're doing these missions to make this chain that then goes and gets this giant heist, that does this giant Ocean's 11 kind of thing, or Heat thing. That's a really cool idea. That's really cool to give you something to build to do. It seems like Rockstar's listened to a lot of feedback people have given over the years and have really GTA 5. I mean, you know, it's so easy to say, oh, it's GTA again. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And like, we don't know. We haven't played it. We've seen it. We're excited for what we've seen. From what they talk about it and the way they describe it and what they've shown, it really seems like this is a reinvention in a way that I don't know if GTA 4 was. GTA 4 was definitely, it's HD and it's huge and it's awesome and it's got multiplayer. And now this one's kind of like, it's HD and it's huge and it's awesome and it's got multiplayer, but we're changing the core base of what this game is.
Right, we also talked a little bit about tone. Like the jump in tone from San Andreas to GTA 4 was pretty drastic.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like if you want like open world chaos craziness, like we typically now look at games like Saints Row. Whereas GTA 4 sort of introduced, like we said before, sort of this darker, grittier, cinematic, almost Scorsese kind of tone. But that seems to be different here with GTA 5.
Yeah, no, and the Sunsplash Streets we keep talking about, the interplay here between the family. You get to hear Michael talk. Now, Michael doesn't seem like he's been beaten by the world, right? And I like that. I don't want to be this depressed character. I don't want to be, you know, Nico is a really depressing guy. Even in the end when it seemed like things were going to go his way, it went badly, you know what I mean? Like, Michael seems like, even though he's, I mean, we already know Michael's hard on his luck, right? He needs money and something's happening here, but at no point in this does he seem like, my life sucks, blah, 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 you know what I mean? It's very much like, gotta go do this, gotta go take care of the kids and the family or whatever that I can't even stand, and then we get the funny jokes in the car and him working with Franklin and stuff like that.
Yeah, he seems like a sympathetic character, and he seems like he cares. Like he's seeing a therapist. He's potentially trying to work something out with his kids or trying to understand them. I mean, that's a brand new dynamic. And we keep talking about kind of the allusions to Breaking Bad. I mean, when we first met Walter White, I mean, he's just trying to take care of the interests of his family. Obviously, cooking meth probably isn't the best way to go about that. But similarly, Michael seems to be forced into the situation that he may not want to be in, hooking back up with Trevor to pull off these jobs after retiring. But the idea that we have a central character that actually cares about something, I think adds a new depth to the story.
We unveiled the new trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5 here this morning at IGN. We've been going over it multiple times, seeing all the details we can point out for it. We're going to be here about another 15 minutes or so, so if you have any last-minute questions about it, if you have any last-minute comments about it, just tweet us at IGN to be part of the conversation.
And you could win one of these things right here, right?
Those are, yeah, little viewfinders. The pre-order bonuses for the game. Each one comes with its own little scene from GTA 5.
I'm going to look through the wiki here, see what people are adding. They're filling it out, which is very nice. Glad they're doing this.
There's a trivia section.
Quadri asks, do we have age?
Keep going, sorry.
Do we have age guesses on each of the characters? You can guess, sure.
Yeah, for sure. I would say Michael is in his 50s. I would say.
Who's older, Michael or Trevor?
I would say they're right around the same age. Yeah. Trevor looks like he's none worse for the wear.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's aged poorly.
Franklin is obviously the youngest of the trio.
Yeah, exactly. And Greg, you were talking about this earlier, how Michael and Trevor have already sort of come out of this life and they're living in this sort of like post-crime place or time in their lives, and Franklin's just kind of coming up.
Yeah. I'd say Franklin's early, mid-20s.
Yeah, I would say so.
Franklin's your traditional GTA character. He's that guy who's about to, you hear him talking about it right here, he's ready to make the jump from being a street hood to being a player, but what does that really mean? And so, rather than just get that side of the story, we're getting it from Michael's side and Trevor's side, who've already gone on the journey he's about to go on.
I'd say Michael and Trevor are at least twice Franklin's age.
Yeah, I would say right around there, yeah. I would say Franklin's probably a closer analog to Michael's son.
Sure.
And we, obviously when Michael introduces Franklin to Trevor, he says this is the son, that I always wanted? Or
yeah.
Right.
Leslie has a really interesting question. Do we think Michael's daughter will make a move on Franklin?
Ooh, that's the ending. That's the happy ending we finally get.
Oh, wow, okay.
The GTA wedding.
The happy ending, Greg.
Yeah. Do you have to go take it to the dirty spot every time?
Yes.
Can't believe you let that woman ruin it forever.
So the plane flies through the...
Right. It blows it up, and then goes through the wreckage.
Smashes through it.
Yeah,
the plane's fine, though, I'm sure.
It's a jet fatality. It's a finishing move. Yeah, so one of the things we also been talking about is the entire world will be open from the get-go. Right when you start the game, you'll have access to the entire giant world of GTA 5. You'll also be able to fly immediately if you play as Trevor, because he's a former military pilot and he can fly jets, planes, and helicopters.
If you want my advice, give this shit up.
That's his advice. Don't get in the game.
Don't do it. Probably talking to his son.
William says, I definitely think someone from before Michael's witness protection will catch up to him in the story.
So we were talking a little bit about that. For somebody to be in a witness protection program typically means that they've done something bad, and then they've made some kind of deal. No, they've made some kind of deal. Yeah, flipped or ratted somebody out.
Yeah, like that. He just shoots me down all the time. This is it, everybody. This is a creative environment Greg Miller gets to thrive in every day. Casey, I got a good idea. Shut up. Okay.
That's not entirely true.
There are parts of that are true.
So, but yeah, so to the point here, I think that whoever he ratted out could potentially come back to haunt him.
And Trevor's, I think Trevor will be a part of that too. Like that, I don't know. Can't wait. Those look like two different explosions too. We were talking about that heist, you know what I mean, before when we got in an argument before, and then we made up stuff. But the vault door, God, I hate freaking computer. How far back is it? I don't know. It'll come here in a second. But when the vault door blows open and then there's a second explosion, they don't look like the same explosion.
There's lots of explosions actually.
I know, but there's two back to back there.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's
that one and then this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the first one is a vault door. This one,
Yes.
that's a vault
Yes.
door.
Yeah.
And then in this parking garage, maybe, that we guess, that's obviously not a vault door.
See, I would buy this one being the heist.
I would
This
absolutely
now
agree.
we can come to terms with the game and we can let's make peace. Come here. I love
you. Awkward hug.
Yes, pretty awkward.
It was the manly on the field of battle hug where I touched the back of his head. If he was like a Lord of the Rings character and he was about to die.
So the first explosion looks like a vault. The second looks like a parking garage or something.
Yeah.
You're breaching clear on that one.
So Trevor is the sort of, he seems like the most on edge character, the loose cannon character, the craziest character.
The Ryan Clements.
Yeah, so what often happens in these situations is he does something that gets the whole group in trouble. He goes too crazy and goes off the handle.
Right.
Now here's where we're gonna go. Like I keep talking about this interview I did with Dan Houser, right? That's going up on Friday. In there we talked about the dichotomy between these guys, and what he kept bringing up was that in a lot of ways, as the player, we're in the Franklin role, not as far as playing, but trying to decide. Is it Michael or Trevor? Who's got the right idea? And it's when he was saying that, I thought that was really bizarre because all we've known about Trevor is that he's this crazy guy. So it's going to be interesting to see that. I keep talking about how Michael seems like he's not super bogged down by life, but is he so twisted that like by the end of the game, I'm going to think the guy who is lighting people on fire and says cut here is like a normaler dude than this guy?
That could be good.
It's going to be a long wait for this game.
It's only a few months away.
That's right. Here's a thought too. So Michael was in the witness protection program. He worked together with Trevor previously. What happened to Trevor? Do you think Trevor may have not have snitched and maybe he did time? I mean, he's got tattoos.
Yeah.
He could, maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder about that.
And he's living a completely different lifestyle. So talking about a potential informant coming back, that obviously could play into it.
Justin points out that blimps have popped up in both trailers. Playable vehicle. You fly a blimp.
Oh, the humanity! They're very slowly getting away!
Hey, let's bounce.
How do you afford these things?
We're bouncing now.
Now I'm gonna put this out there. I know that you. Every time I say something, you both like to tear me apart. Maybe that isn't his son in the car. We're doing the traditional thing where the trailers are saying things and putting imagery together, and we're jumping to that conclusion. Maybe that's not Jimmy.
That would explain why.
Did we see Jimmy in our demo? I forget. I don't think he was in the house, was he?
No, he wasn't. No, it was just Tracy. Tracy is Michael's daughter.
But then it's like, they say, your son Jimmy, he's a good kid, and then they immediately cut to him.
Right.
And they cut to that person.
We see him twice, actually. The first time that we see him is on the boat.
Yeah.
And then the second time he's literally sitting in the car with him.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying it's...
I think it makes sense. And it's an interesting observation, too, that both of Michael's kids have tattoos. If that, in fact, is Jimmy.
I've been in this game for a lot of years. I got out
Imagine Michael going,
Get shit up.
Let's see here. Huzzah or Hutza says the world looks massive. Do you think this will need multiple discs on Xbox?
Ah,
that's a good question. Possibly. I mean, I don't know though. I mean, we don't know. So.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What was GTA 4? Multiple discs on it? No, it wasn't.
That house right
I think
there.
so.
With the yellow stairs.
I'm trying to think, like, can you go back, actually? We see twice in this trailer this giant suspension bridge. And there's not many bridges like that in Los
there's
Angeles.
not really
so
a big bridge like that.
right there, like, what?
Oh,
What is
okay.
that? That almost looks like, like the Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Are we going to go that far north in California? That we're in San Francisco? I don't think so, but just interesting. Actually, no, wait, go back. That right next to the bridge looks like the Forum, the Anaheim Forum. Right there, on the very right. But yeah, I don't know. Again, just
speculation.
Well, now the structure itself looks like the Forum, but those larger, whatever they are, the arches, those actually look like the entrance to the Rose Bowl. So I don't know. Maybe they're combining landscape. Who knows? Let's keep going.
This bus looks like the LA buses.
It does. Yeah.
This train looks like trains. The train from The Walking Dead. A possible crossover.
Now, Greg, what do we know about the AI and the pedestrians and what's going to be happening, sort of?
They're out there living their life, Case. They're out there just doing their thing. They're not, they're actually doing things. They're out there. They have ideas of what they're supposed to be doing. They've become sentient, I believe you say. No, not true. But they're out there, and there's dynamic events like Red Dead. That was one of the big things they kept talking about, right? That what worked really well in Red Dead were dynamic events happening, and the player getting to interact with that, and that really making that world feel alive. And the example that we got to see really briefly when we were driving was that, there's a cash truck over there making a delivery right now. If you wanted, you could rob it right there. You could follow him and rob. You could ignore it. You could do whatever you want. It's not something you have to do, but it's there so that the world is alive and not just filled with people wandering the streets.
Right. Rockstar said that there will be, for instance, bus drivers getting up, going to work, and getting on buses and driving them, or examples like that where they're sort of going about their daily lives. So it isn't just going to be people wandering aimlessly up and down the streets.
Now, here's the question: will there be zombie DLC for this game?
Even like Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, like are they gonna do? You think they'll they make this giant open world? You think they'll then? I mean, I guess there's probably gonna be more episodes and stuff too, like episodes from Los Santos or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, I mean DLC is a foregone conclusion. For sure.
Right.
I don't know. Undead Nightmare was awesome and crazy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put something like that past.
Yeah, and it would make sense to have DLC timed around the Halloween period with the game coming out.
That's like 6 months after release.
Yeah, we're thinking we know that the game's going to be coming out spring 2013, which is only a few months away. We're thinking, we already talked about this earlier today, but probably April and May, yeah.
I can't believe we'll have beaten this by the time Breaking Bad comes back. That breaks my heart.
So we only have a couple minutes left. What should we talk about before we finish up here?
Let's just sort of recap the whole experience. The second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5 was unveiled this morning. We unveiled it live here on IGN. It comes a year after the first trailer. This one, I think, gives us a much more specific idea of what the story is going to be like, what the gameplay is going to be like. Now a year later, we know that the crux of Grand Theft Auto 5 is that there are 3 playable characters that you can switch for the most part at will, even though certain missions will sort of force you to play certain characters. But that seems to me to be the big crux of Grand Theft Auto 5. 3 playable characters in a massive world that's bigger than any previous GTA game.
Yeah. Good job. Good summary, Dan.
That was good. And then focusing on heists that take their inspiration from 3-Leaf Clover, which was arguably everybody's favorite mission from GTA 4. So how do we feel about this trailer? Where do we feel like the trailer sort of puts GTA 5 now?
I'm more excited for it than ever.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, we got to see it, so we're lucky. The
guys
trailer
actually
already. This is stoking the fire. I think it does show. I at least hope it's showing the tone of the game and what we can expect. These little asides or whatever. Who Michael is, why you should care about these characters. It's interesting. You know what I mean?
This is Grand Theft Auto 5 week on IGN, and what still do we have? What do we have yet to come for this week?
Well, this week we're going to be doing a rumor breakdown. We're going to look at all the rumors that were published about GTA 5 coming into its announcement, and then over the course of the last year. We are also going to have an interview that Greg did with Dan Houser. We were able to spend the better part of 2 hours with him, asking him all sorts of questions. What else we got, Greg?
Screenshot Slow Jam from Damon Hatfield. Giving some love to those.
We've been doling out. We've been unveiling 2 new screenshots a day.
That's right.
So when we have all those, when those are all out there, we'll do.
Yeah, a little bit later today we'll post 2 more. We talked about one of them that'll go up today, which has what we think is Trevor parachuting over a train.
Over a train that presumably the one that he crashes in this trailer.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this trailer is really cool.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome trailer.
It's got me super excited for GTA 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 is only a few months away. It's gonna be out in the spring, so there'll be lots more coverage, over the next few months here on IGN. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in with us today to check out the new trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. Let's keep the conversation going. So tweet us at IGN. Let us know what you think about the trailer. If you keep noticing new details in there, make sure you add them to the wiki here on IGN.
Come back in 4 hours for the PlayStation All-Stars live stream too.
Later this afternoon, 2 p.m. Pacific time, we do have a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale live stream. Greg will be back for that with Colin. So.
And tomorrow we have what?
Tomorrow we have a Hitman Absolution live stream, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be unveiling an exclusive new level in that game, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good rest of the day, everybody.